And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SNU Football here in Bethany. Luke McConnell, Landry Franks with you together for fifth season calling SNU Football. It's a new year, a new season for the Crimson Storm, taking on the Harding Bisons here this evening at SNU Football Stadium. And Landry, glad to be back with you once again. A new season, hope springs eternal for the Crimson Storm coming off a terrific season a year ago.
Oh man, yeah, the best season since they've moved to Division II football, and Coach Hayda couldn't say enough about the team last year, but he also couldn't say enough about the future and what's happening or what's going to happen this year.
And Landry, it's easy for us to get caught up in all the records, all the good things. A 5-6 season, Gage Porter, a second team AP All-American, just playmakers all over the place on offense. However, at the end of the day, you talk to the players, you talk to Coach Hayda. Still a 5-6 season, and for competitors, nobody's going to be pleased and satisfied with 5-6.
Yeah, certainly as spectators and for people who have been following the Crimson Store for some time, you look at last season and think, man, lots of progress is made, and that is true. We don't want to discount any of that, but that's not the finished product. That's not the team they want to be, and certainly have their eyes set on bigger and better goals this season.
It all starts on offense with Gage Porter,
Yes.
a very veteran group in the backfield at all the skill positions along the offensive line. Veterans all over the place for this offense that was third in the nation in rushing yardage last year.
Yeah, and Gage Porter obviously having over 1,700 yards of rushing as a quarterback, and he is a quarterback. He can throw the ball certainly, but the offensive rushing attack is hard to stop, and one main reason for that is last year there were a lot of returning starters, and if you look at the two deep depth chart this year, it's full of people who have been here not just 1 or 2 or 3 years, but you have some seniors, you have some redshirt seniors, you have some COVID seniors. All of these make a tremendous impact on the consistency you can build year after year after year on the offensive front.
On the other side, the defense, a lot of young guys. Coach Hayda, in our conversation today, mentioned several true freshmen who are going to see the field
Mm.
tonight, especially along the
Yeah.
defensive line. They need to be difference makers for a defense that, statistically speaking, was one of the lower ones in the nation.
Yes, and some of that is the fact that the offense last year worked so well. So if you have short drives, your defense is resting less and on the field more. But I do think it'll be a real challenge for those freshmen defensive line who are going to get to play a lot tonight against Harding. If there's maybe one team that maybe you wish it was week 2 or 3 off our defensive line wise, it might be them. But it'll be a good test, and Coach Hayda is certainly proud of his guys. He thinks they can do the job. And is not worried about them holding up against this Harding offensive front tonight.
Let's talk about the Bisons for a minute. The class of the GAC for several years, along with Washita and Henderson
Yeah.
State. First time missing the playoffs since 2015, a season ago. They aren't satisfied with 9-2. They have a lot of veteran returners. A young quarterback who's a redshirt freshman a year ago in Cole Keelan.
Hmm.
All of their backs back for this one. Veterans along the offensive line and defensive lines. It's a strong test to start the year for SNU.
Yes, yeah. I mean, of course, when you think Harding, you think about the unique offense they run. The flex bone is interesting to defend because you do have to change your entire defense just to match what Harding is doing, and it's just for 1 week. And we asked Coach about that, and he said that they put in a couple extra days of install, because they had the time during the summer. But it'll be interesting to see how this defense adjusts to an offense that is not only does it run a unique offense, but it is an efficient offense as well. So it'll be a good test to start the season for the Storm.
Just a few minutes before kickoff here in Bethany. Everyone's 0-0 at this point. Everything on the table for all 12 teams in the GAC. We'll take a short break, come back with SNU head coach Dustin Hayda, and then on the other side of that, we'll get you ready for kickoff here in Bethany. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome into our pregame conversation with SNU head coach Dustin Hayda, the Crimson Storm, kicking off the season tonight against the Harding Bisons. And Dustin, back at it, first game of the season. How are you and your guys feeling?
Well, there's always an element of excitement for the first game and playing it on a Thursday, and when all the students are in town, they haven't gone home for the weekend, and so we're looking forward to it. And these guys they're excited to play and tired of hitting guys with the same helmet on, like they always say. And but I think beyond just sick of playing our own stuff, and that they're excited to get this season rolling and all that could be.
What's it like starting the season against Harding, one of the best teams in the conference over the past several years, getting them on your home field to start? What excitement level does that bring to this matchup as well?
Yeah, home or away, they're still Harding, and they're still the cream of the crop in the Great American Conference. And so our guys understand what we're up against, and we just want to play great football and do the things that it takes for us to play up to the standard that these guys have set for themselves. And regardless of who we're playing, we want to do the right thing and play our best football and just play for each other, and that's really our goal, regardless of who we play.
Best season in the D2 era last year. How do you flush that, but also use that momentum to carry over into this year?
Yeah, if you talk to any of our players, they don't buy into all that stuff very much. 5 and 6 years, not what they wanted outcome wise, and while at the same time, I think everybody you would talk to would say how much they learned about what it takes for us to compete every single week, and then for some of those outcomes to go our way was kind of proof that what they've been doing is working, and what we're preaching to them is working, and the formula and culture are what it's going to take, and now we've just got to work through that consistency. But they don't spend a lot of time talking about last year, although they've learned from it, and so that's been really good.
You have a veteran team led, of course, by quarterback Gage Porter. How helpful has that been as you have prepared for this season to have such a veteran group who knows your expectations, knows what you're trying to accomplish, and can lead the younger guys to achieve that?
Well, it's been really good. And Gage isn't the only one. Of course, that's the one everybody knows about. But, Jarvis Davis came back, and he's an exceptional leader at quarterback as well. And then you look right on down the line at out at receiver, you've got Aaron Fellows and Asa Robertson, and Donovan Hill's come a tremendously long way from where he started to he's a leader of the team, and Dalen Smith, at tight end, and those O-linemen. So we've got a ton of leadership guys, and then on defense, Jalen May's been waiting his turn, and he's been an outstanding leader for the defensive guys. Nick Blanchard runs the show on defense from an energy standpoint. And Manny Obina's done a great job of stepping up, even as a young guy, of being a leader. So for us, it's been just carrying over from last year. I said they forgot about it, but they've learned from it. Our leadership was enhanced those last 5 games by the guys that are back on this team, and so it's been a joy just to see those guys embrace the culture and spread that to the new guys and drag the young guys along full head into it. It's been really satisfying.
Well, Dustin, thank you so much for your time as always, and best of luck kicking off the season against the Bisons.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Bethany. Luke McConnell, Landry Franks with you. The season opener for Southern Nazarene against the Harding Bisons. Landry, let's run through the GAC real quick. You see the preseason poll there on your screen. Ouachita getting the nod as the preseason conference favorite. Harding right behind them, followed by Henderson State, Southern Arkansas, and Southeastern coming in as the top Oklahoma school in the poll. East Central is 6, Arkansas Tech 7, Monticello 8. Southern Nazarene checking in at 9, just a few points ahead of Southwestern at 10. Oklahoma Baptist is 11, and Northwestern is number 12. Landry, a lot of questions around the league this year. 6 quarterback battles across the league, several new head coaches around the league. Arkansas Tech has a completely different staff under head coach Kyle Shipp. There's a lot of uncertainties in the league this year.
Yeah, it is interesting, the conference preseason poll. Maybe, it's just preseason, but I highly doubt that it looks anything like that, 10 games from now. And man, when you think about years where SNU can really take advantage of some teams on transition, and they've had a ton of consistency. Same coaching staff, same coaches, same players. This is a great opportunity for them not to just finish middle of the pack, but even push to the top of a really, really good conference.
I mean, one scheduling note for SNU this year. You saw the preseason poll. 4 of the top 5 in the preseason poll come here to Bethany this year. SNU only has to go to Henderson State out of those first 5. They also go to East Central if you're looking at the full top half of the conference. But it's certainly a schedule advantage there for SNU. As we go around the league tonight, Ouachita Baptist is out in Weatherford against Southwestern. Southeastern taking on Southern Arkansas down in Magnolia. Arkansas Monticello making the 8-hour drive up to Alva tonight to take on Northwestern. Arkansas Tech taking on Oklahoma Baptist over in Shawnee. That's a 7 o'clock Central kickoff. And East Central at Henderson State also a 7 o'clock kickoff. A lot of changes around the league. A lot of changes in college football in general this year, Landry. A couple different rule changes. Take us through those.
Well, when we met with Coach Ada, I thought there was a joke on his desk, but there's a red challenge flag. But it seems that that's going to be used this year. So each coach has a challenge just like the rest of the NCAA, and all of the reviews will be on the field, done by the white hat through an iPad. So there's all kinds of things that can be reviewed this year, some of which will be, I think, pretty clear. Turnovers and interceptions that might have hit the ground, fumbles, all of the likely stuff. But I think there'll be some things that might get reviewed but might be too hard to tell. So did a runner cross the goal line? Well, there's only one camera angle at most football stadiums, so it's going to be hard to tell some of those. But it is a interesting opportunity for Division II football to dip their toe in the challenge flag, or I guess review. Anyway, so that's one interesting thing for sure.
In addition to that, also a couple clock changes. Clock will run even on first downs throughout the entirety of both halves until the last 2 minutes of each half. So no more clock stopping on first downs. And that'll be certainly a big factor in this game tonight with two teams that want to run the ball, want to only run the ball. Mm-hmm. This game could go very quickly tonight as the Crimson Storm take the field in Bethany, led by their senior quarterbacks Gage Porter and Jarvis Davis. The Crimson Storm, white helmets, gray jerseys, crimson pants this evening. Harding across the way taking the field in black helmets, white jerseys, and black pants. Landry, let's get your keys for tonight's contest.
Yeah, the key offensively is to get Gage Porter going often. That doesn't mean just running the ball, but it means getting his reads and his fits down early. They certainly had preseason inter-squad scrimmages and a spring game, but nothing compares to going against another team. So those they need to come off the ball firing, and they need to get Gage Porter going early. Defensively, they need to withstand bend don't break mentality. It's okay to give up yards. Harding will get first downs. They will get yards, but will you let them get touchdowns or field goals? So those are questions that certainly need to be asked. Luke, what about you?
Yeah, I think learning early how Harding is going to play SNU defensively will be a key tonight. Offensive production in this game a year ago, pretty much dead even. The difference in the 56-28 win for Harding here in Bethany a year ago, 3 turnovers for SNU, a sneaky onside kick early in the first quarter that Harding recovered and went down and scored, plus a kickoff return for a touchdown to open the third quarter. But aside from the miscues, everything done in a normal fashion, everything was pretty even here in Bethany. So learning how Harding adjusts to Gage Porter and the offense, and then the young defensive line. Want to see how they perform. Couldn't pick a harder task in the early going as far as discipline, as far as just knowing your spots and knowing your role than this one. That will be key. It'll be Harding football to start the game. Freshman kicker Cameron Van Pruyen for SNU has it teed up at the 35-yard line. Kendall Allen and Jalen Spicer back deep to receive for the Bisons as we close out August and open up football season in Bethany.
Watch a high onside here.
Van Pruyen, high angling kick, comes down at the 23-yard line to Zach Strickland, and he's up the sideline and out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. So good starting field position for the Bisons as the starting middle linebacker for the Bisons puts Harding in good position at their own 47-yard line, moving left to right in this first quarter, a hot into August. But it's a beautiful start to the football season.
Yep, and here comes that flex bone. We're going to see a lot of tonight. 2 wide receivers, somewhat split out, but tight formation everywhere else. 3 running backs, 1 quarterback.
Cole Keelan under center. Blake Dela Cruz, the fullback, behind him. Keelan pitches out to Jalen Spicer, trying to get outside. He stumbled, and he'll lose a yard, tackled by Jake Wright, the sophomore linebacker out of Oklahoma City, out of Southmore High School. Wright, on the smaller side, 5'7", 185 listed, but he's a guy that Coach Hayda mentioned in the spring.
Yeah.
Just one of those guys you can't keep off the field.
Yeah, and you'll take undersized if he makes plays like that. So outside linebackers have a big role to play in a flex bone offense. They're keying the other running back. So it's all about discipline tonight.
2nd and 11, ball on the right hash. Keelan gives it to Dela Cruz up the middle. Slow going for the junior. Just a pickup of 3 to the 49-yard line. Brings up 3rd and 8, an advantageous position for the SNU defense here.
That's right. This is where you have to stay disciplined. They can certainly run the ball still here and put it in 4-down territory, but they're not afraid to pass out of the flex bone too.
The SNU defense, Ethan Miner, Josh Johnson at the corners, Jalen Mays, Haram Flores at safety, Jake Wright, David Omasigo, Cole McMahon, and Carter Brock at linebacker for this 3rd and 8. Keelan pitches it outside, left side. Braden Jay, he's on the outside. He's got the first down at the 40-35, and he's ushered out of bounds by Jake Wright. A good run there by sophomore Braden Jay, who rushed for over 200 yards in the last 3 games combined a season ago, and he moves the chains on 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and Jake Wright, we were just singing his praises on the outside. They're flipping their linebackers, SNU is, and got sucked into the dive. And when the option came out, he was already a step inside, which created the space for Harding.
1st and 10, Bison's ball on the left hash. 13 minutes to go, first quarter. First possession of the game for Harding. The linemen for SNU, Cam Flowers, Austin Martin, and Nick Blanchard. Keelan turns, gives it to Spicer. He's tripped up. And once again, it was Jake Wright making the tackle.
You give up a play, you make a play. Yeah, you got to have a short memory as a linebacker. You're gonna dive in sometimes. You're gonna get caught, but what are you gonna do the next play? Jake Wright gets just enough of that shoestring to bring him down.
Ball on the left hash. 2nd and 8 for Harding. Keelan checks to the sidelines. Clock continues to move with 12:15 to go in the first quarter. Keelan gives it to Dela Cruz, makes one man miss, where he's belted down across the 30 by Cole McMahon down to the 27-yard line, where it will be 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, and most certainly 2-down territory here for the Bison. This is what we talked about, Luke, this bend don't break. These are the moments that you got to get off the field, make a play.
Ball on the left hash. Roland Wallace, the wide receiver, to the near side. Keelan keeps it himself over left side. He's not going to get it. Just 1 yard on 3rd down. David Omasigo in there on the tackle along with Jalen Mays for SNU. It's 4th down and 1. And the Bison's offense remains on the field. Big moment early here for the SNU defense with 11 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, to watch a hard count here. Try to just get them to jump offside. See how disciplined they are.
Still 15 seconds on the play clock as Keelan checks the wristband and hunkers down under center. Keelan He's going to quarterback sneak around the right side. He's got the first down as he found some space down the right side of the line of scrimmage before Carter Brock chopped him down at the 22-yard line. It's a gain of 4, but it is enough for the first down with 10.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Wide receiver, a big source of turnover for the Bisons from a year ago. Roland Wallace, the only returning guy from that group. He's split out wide to the left with the ball in the middle of the field. Keelan takes a snap. Outside, pitches it to Jay. Missed tackle by SNU. Jay at the 15, the 10, inside the 5-yard line. SNU had him for a loss, but it looked like a couple Crimson Storm players collided, and Jay squirted right between them.
Yes, yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, great positioning, good discipline. It's unfortunate that 2 guys going for the tackle at the same time.
So first and goal, Bisons from the left hash at the 4-yard line. 9:40 to go, first quarter. This is the opening drive of the game of the 2023 season. Keelan under center. Takes a snap. Turns, gives to Dela Cruz, picking his way on the right side of the line. He's stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Second and goal. Hiram Flores in there along with Josh Johnson.
Yeah, you love seeing safeties come down and make a play against a wishbone or a flexbone offense, especially on a dive.
They'll give him one down to the 3, so second and goal as the clock ticks under 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. And we knew this would be a quick-moving game this evening. Harding doing nothing to disappoint us thus far. Keelan turns, gives to Dela Cruz, pounding his way. Is he in? He is. It's a touchdown for Harding, and the Bisons draw first blood in 2023. 8:37 to go in the first quarter, and the Bisons take it 53 yards and score on the game's opening possession.
Yeah, nothing fancy there. Just another dive, right? Just getting their big guys downhill.
Grant Ennis on for the extra point. Snap is high. Ennis puts it up and through. Nice job by Cooper Carroll to bring down the high snap. That'll take us to a timeout on the field. 8:37 to go in the first quarter. Bison 7, Crimson Storm coming up.
Character, culture, and Christ have been the motto for Southern Nazarene University for many, many years. When I came as president, I was really curious about those words and really curious to dig into the archives. In fact, a conversation on campus one day with a visitor to our campus who asked that same question, what does character, culture, and Christ mean today? These days I like to talk about refining character. I think that we're all in process, and in those collegiate years, those years of a university experience, there's a great opportunity to refine character.
Welcome back to Bethany. Southern Nazarene trailing Harding 7-0. Luke McConnell, Landry Franks with you in the season opener. Harding kicking off left to right. Magnus Lepak, freshman out of Holland Hall High School in Tulsa, set to send this one away to Donald May and Josh Johnson. It's going to be Donald May from the 5 on the right side, picking his way to the left. Now circling all the way back. Bad decision there from May, and he's taken down at the 17-yard line. Good coverage by the Bison.
Yeah.
Landry looked like he had the lane right up the middle.
Yeah, and there was someone filling it, but you take the one over the lots. And Donald May certainly is known for his speed and his playmaking ability. But he's going to see that on film tomorrow and wish he'd have taken a right instead of a left.
So Gage Porter leads the SNU offense back, the 7th year on Southern Nazarene's campus for Gage Porter. He's got a strong test in front of him with the Harding Bison's defense. 8.5 to go, first quarter. Ball on the left hash. The give is to Angel Ramirez, plowing his way up the middle, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1 up the middle. Landry, this Harding defensive line, very stout, very experienced. Tall test for an equally veteran SNU offensive line.
Yes, absolutely. And, this offensive line has kind of shifted around, moved around a little bit this year. But an offensive line that knows exactly what their job is, no matter what position they play. Coach Hayda said they're going to play the 6th best offensive line no matter what.
2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. Ball on the left hash for SNU. Asa Robertson, the man in motion. It's Porter picking his way up the middle, across the 20, across the 25, and up to the 26-yard line goes Gage Porter for a gain of 7. It'll be 3rd down and 2 for the Crimson Storm. 7:40 to go in the first quarter, trailing 7-0 to the Bisons. SNU along the front, left to right. David Armijo at tackle. Andy Cardenas at left guard. Zach Cizik takes over for Braden Jones at center. Caleb Bates at right guard, and David Morales at right tackle. The wide receivers thus far, Asa Robertson, Jarrell Farr, and Donovan Hill. Dalen Smith, the tight end, and Angel Ramirez, the back. 3rd and 2 for SNU. Robertson in motion to the top of the formation. Porter pulls it out of the belly of Ramirez, and he's stacked up. Malik Mays filled the hole first. It's a loss of 2 back to the 24-yard line, and SNU will have to punt on their opening possession.
Yeah, it's hard to know kind of what read to make from this position. But the Asa Roberts jet sweep across the middle, which was the first initial read, seemed to be the one that was maybe the most open. But again, it's hard to say. Crimson Storm will have to punt on their first drive of the season.
6:40 to go, first quarter. Adam Atwell, the sophomore from League City, Texas, taking over for Ryan Reed at punter. And he sends a high spiraling one. Kendall Allen fields it at the 36-yard line, slips down, kept his footing, and he's going to be gang tackled right there at the 38-yard line. Carter Brock, Aaron Fellows down there in coverage for the Crimson Storm. So Harding coming up on offense with their second offensive possession of the quarter. 6:20 to go in the opening period. Harding leads 7-0. We'll take a break and be right back after this.
One of my favorite things about SNU was the relationships I was able to have with people, with professors, with friends.
One thing that was purposely different about SNU was the integration of faith into the academics. I feel like I learned so much from that helped prepare me for life after college, to be a husband and someday to be a father. It was a really, really transformational time in my life.
My degree could have come from anywhere, but my relationships with people, I know I would not have gotten anywhere else. Go to snu.edu to apply or to schedule a visit.
Welcome back to Bethany. Southern Nazarene trailing Harding 7-0. Luke McConnell and Landry Franks with you on a gorgeous, sultry August evening as we close out the month of August and head into September. Harding in their second offensive possession of the game. Wide receiver to either side to start this possession. Hash ball on the right hash. Keelan, reverse. He's strung out in the backfield, and SNU is there.
Yeah.
Great coverage there as Darius Brown was hemmed up in the backfield. Nick Blanchard, Josh Johnson, all back there to make the play.
Yeah, and I think that was Jake Wright again, just staying disciplined, right? Again, the flex bone, you have one key usually, and it's whoever is across from you at a diagonal. which would be for Jake Wright, the person across the formation. And he just stays disciplined, knows the reverse is coming, and is right in his lane.
Loss of 4 on first down, 2nd and 14. Ball just inside the left hash. Keelan pitches it outside. That's Omar Sinclair, and he's belted down by Hiram Flores up at the 43-yard line. So a good pickup there of 8 to make it 3rd down and 4.
And this is what Harding does. They kind of lull you to sleep, right? This is just a speed option, but you have a cornerback who's not really getting pressured or blocked intensely, and then all of a sudden they're up on you, and you can't get off the block or make the play.
Sinclair missed all of last season for the Bisons. Ball is loose. It looked like SNU jumped. We'll see. A flag came in. Might have an offsides on Austin Martin.
Maybe potentially snap infraction. There's definitely some conversation happening.
And it looks like it is going to go on SNU. Based on the head linesman indication. So the 5-yard penalty will gift Harding the first down up at the 48-yard line of the Bisons. Clock moving, 5:04 to play in the first quarter, 7-0 Harding. Everyone in tight with the ball on the right hash. Andrew Miller, redshirt freshman from Searcy, is the fullback for Harding. Keelan puts it in his bell, and he plows across midfield all the way down to the SNU 47-yard line. It's a gain of 5, making it 2nd down and 5 from the SNU side of midfield.
Yeah, Austin Martin is going to get a lot of play tonight, starting nose tackle for the Storm.
There's one of those true freshmen along the defensive line coming in, Julian Campos, freshman out of Little Rock, Arkansas. He's lined up at right end right now with everybody in tight for the Bison. 2nd and 5. Keelan takes a snap, pitches outside. Stone Sheffield strung out by Jake Wright. Missed the tackle. Jalen Mays missed the tackle, and Stone Sheffield scoots across the 40-yard line to the 39. It's a gain enough for the first down, a gain of 8.
Stone Sheffield's arms just maybe 2 inches longer than Jake Wright's arms in that situation. Frustrating that the play is there to be made, but instead Bison get a first down.
Clock moving, 3:45 to go first quarter, 7-0 Harding. Bisons have had the ball for the majority of the quarter. SNU's opening possession, a 3 and out. They lasted just 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Keelan, play action, looking down the middle of the field for Roland Wallace. He's got him open, and it goes through his hands on the dive, incomplete. Ethan Miner in coverage, but Wallace got behind him, and fortunate that it was a bit of an overthrow from Keelan.
Yep, and here's again the discipline it takes to play a flexbone team. This is the first pass of the game. It's almost the end of the first quarter. It's not a surprise that they haven't passed the ball yet. But all they do is just fake block 10 yards down the field. They don't engage because it'd be a penalty. And then they just release. It's not complicated, but it lulls you to sleep. You get blocked enough times, you aren't thinking about it.
2nd and 10. Keelan pitches it outside. That's Sinclair. He's tripped up. Guess who? Jake Wright, who has been everywhere here in this first quarter. It's a pickup of 2, 3rd down and 8. And Landry, back to your point on that previous play, it was one thing that Coach Hayes said about his defense. They can't be bored doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, and it can be boring, right? If you're a safety and you're only in about 10% of the plays in the first quarter, then all of a sudden you got someone running past you. It's easy to get lulled to sleep. It's hard to stay focused, but that's what it takes to beat a team like Harding. Harding isn't accidentally good every single year. They're disciplined, and SNU has to be equally as disciplined.
Ball on the right hash, 3rd and 8. Big opportunity here for SNU. Keelan back to pass. He's in trouble. He's going down. A sack for Jake Wright. Back to the 44-yard line. A huge stop for the Crimson Storm defense.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure. It looked like maybe an RPO out of the flex bone. I don't know if you can actually call it that, but a little slant route. but their wide receiver didn't really get off the ball. Was nowhere to be seen and couldn't get the pass off. And way to get off the field defense for the Storm.
Huge stop there. Ryan Fox on to kick this one away to Joa Flores. 2:20 to go first quarter. As the Crimson Storm get the stop they needed. Fox sends that one high, hanging, and that's going to carry and die right at the goal line. What a punt from Ryan Fox. 6 inches more, and that's in the end zone.
Yeah,
and
he's
it's down to right at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, Ryan Fox is going to go back to the sideline, tell all of his kicking and punting buddies, yeah, I meant to do that. But I'm not so sure. I think he lucked out on that one. But, man, what a punt. Literally hit, I don't know, what'd you say, Luke, 3 inches before the goal line?
Oh, it was, I mean, from this angle, it looked like there was no space between the ball and the goal line. But spectacular job from the senior from Searcy. So SNU right on the goal line and having to go against some big bodies up front. Gage Porter under center here. He's just going to try to push forward a little bit, give himself a little bit of breathing room. He'll get one out to the 2-yard line. We tick under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Dangerous spot here for SNU, given the strength of the Bison's defensive line.
Yeah, and you don't want to do anything too complicated. You really want to get a play where you can get 5 yards so you can just run a normal offensive play. But your primary concern, if you're Coach Hayda, is not to get a first. I mean, obviously you want to get first downs and touchdowns, but is to get out of the back of your own end zone.
10 seconds on the play clock, 1:25 on the first quarter clock as SNU gets set. Smith in motion to the right side. Porter, quick hitter over the middle. It's intercepted. Went high off the hands of Asa Robertson and intercepted by Ahmad Butler. Robertson just running a little stop route, and Porter came out a little wobbly out of his hand.
Yeah, it just didn't look right from the start. You had Jarrell Farr trying to get the outside receiver on the line of scrimmage. You had Asa Roberts run a quick route. He was open. He was in this spot. But it's just a little high, a little off. Maybe only a 10-yard throw in total.
A really tough turnover there as Harding will start first and goal at the 6-yard line right after you get the stop to get off the field. Give it right back in prime scoring position to the Bisons. 1:09 to go first quarter.
Yeah, and this is a chance to be really mentally tough for the Storm defense.
Keelan gives it to Dela Cruz around the right side. Keeps his balance. He's in. Touchdown Harding. And the fullback Dela Cruz gets his second touchdown of the quarter, and the Bisons go up 13-0 with 1:02 to go in the period. Landry, we talked about how turnovers were such a huge part of last year's loss to Harding, and right off the bat, Harding takes advantage of the first SNU miscue of the night.
Yeah, and a miscue that we're really not used to seeing from Gage Porter.
Extra point from Ennis is up and good. Right now we're going to go down to the sidelines. Kent Gerard, our new sideline reporter for the Crimson Storm football broadcast. Kent, what do you see down there? Thanks for that, Kent. We'll be coming back to Kent at halftime. He'll talk with Coach Dustin Hayda. And post-game, we'll talk with Coach Hayda as well as player of the game as well. So SNU back to receive this one. Donald May and Josh Johnson. Magnus Lepak on to kick this one away to the Crimson Storm. 14-0 Harding. 1 minute to go in the opening quarter. Lepak sends this one away. It's going to be May once again, this time from the 7. Probing the right side, trying to get outside. He's not even going to get the 20. Chopped down at the 15-yard line by Will White. Came up with the first contact. They'll give him the 16-yard line, and that's where the SNU offense will go to work.
Yeah, and it's time, it's beyond time, but it is time to build some momentum on offense. And just to have a sustainable drive, just to give your defense a bit of a rest.
Donald May in the backfield with Gage Porter, standing to his left. 3 wide receivers to the right with the ball on the right hash. SNU moving right to left. May goes in motion. Porter sticks it in his belly. May crosses the 15, gets up to the 20-yard line, where it will be 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, and just a jet sweep or with May across the formation, puts his foot in the ground and gets solid 4 yards. And that's how you need to start a drive for SNU, just increment at a time, no place for loss. And then just wait for Gage Porter to have an explosive play, which I think is coming, Luke.
This will be the final play of the first quarter. Porter motions Robertson in motion to the near side. Porter takes a snap. Up the middle he goes. Skips through 1 tackle, but he's only going to get 2 up to the 22-yard line. It will be 3rd down and 4 for the Crimson Storm when we start the second quarter. 15 minutes in the books in Bethany. Score, Harding 14, SNU 0. We'll be back with the start of the second period after these messages.
Character, culture, and Christ have been the motto for Southern Nazarene University for many, many years. When I came as president, I was really curious about those words and really curious to dig into the archives. In fact, a conversation on campus one day with a visitor to our campus who asked that same question, what does character, culture, and Christ mean today? These days I like to talk about refining character. I think that we're all in process, and in those collegiate years, those years of a university experience, there's a great opportunity to refine character.
Welcome back to Bethany. Luke McConnell and Landry Franks with you. The season opener for Southern Nazarene. And right now, Landry, it is all Harding. 73 yards on 18 plays in the first quarter. Harding held the ball for just under 11 minutes of time. SNU offensively has not been able to get on track just yet.
Yeah, not quite yet. I mean, the one positive, or there's several positives, but defensively, I think they played well. You know, there's not much you can do when you throw an interception inside your own 10-yard line. But they've held up. They've forced a punt and certainly had opportunities to get off the field.
3rd and 4, ball just inside the right hash. Porter slings it out to Tisdale on the left side. It's incomplete. It looked like the cornerback, Travis Greenewald, got there early. No flag. And that is going to bring out Adam Atwell for the second punt of the evening.
Yeah, and you know, Gage even seemed a little hesitant when throwing that. You could see that corner coming, but he certainly did get there early. I don't know. Looked like a flag to me.
And a tough no call goes against the Crimson Storm there. Atwell to kick this one away to Kendall Allen. Bit of a line drive kick. Allen fields at the 35. Up the middle he goes. And he's going to be belted down at the 45. Nick Blanchard laying the wood at the 44-yard line. And, of course, as has been the case so far this evening, Jake Wright was the one holding on at the legs, allowing Blanchard the clean shot.
He's got to be on some kind of pace for most tackles in a game.
Check the official stats here on where Wright is at as far as tackles go. Already credited with 4 thus far.
Okay. Seems like a lot more.
Official timeout on the field. We'll keep it here for a minute, as we just came out of one. Quick check on scores around the conference. Again, Oklahoma Baptist and Arkansas Tech, they kick off at 7, as does East Central at Henderson State. Late first quarter up in Alva. It's the Rangers up on Monticello, 14-7. Southeastern and Southern Arkansas tied at 7, nearing the end of the first quarter out in Magnolia. Bit of a slow start for Ouachita Baptist out in Weatherford against Southwestern. 7-0. Ouachita leading the Bulldogs with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. And here in Bethany, 14-0 Harding. The Bisons with the football once again. And Landry, like you mentioned, the defense has done pretty well so far, but it's death by 1,000 paper cuts, and generating some sort of negative plays has to be the MO for SNU to get the Bisons off schedule.
You think about the one drive that they got off the field, they had a sack. I mean, it's as simple as that. And now you wish you could get a sack every play against a team that passes 4 times a game, but you've got to stop them at the line of scrimmage at the very least to get yourself a chance to get off the field.
Ball in the middle of the field for the Bisons, wide receiver to either side. Keelan gives it to Dela Cruz. He hops over the 45-yard line. He will gain 3 up to the 47. 2nd down and 7. And Landry, an impressive thing from the junior from Springfield, Dela Cruz. 514 yards on 85 carries a season ago. 0 negative rushing yards for Dela Cruz last year.
That's pretty incredible.
2nd and 7 from the middle of the field. Keelan takes a snap, flags fly, free play, airs it out for Will White. It's incomplete. I think SNU is in the neutral zone.
Yeah, it's the second time they've done kind of a hard count. No, but every time there seems to be a conversation with the ref, so I don't know if there's something else happening.
They're going to tag Austin Martin with that. So the 5-yard penalty will now make it 2nd down and 1. Mark it to the 48-yard line. So 2nd and 2 officially.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard, again, to be disciplined on things like that. And from a defensive lineman perspective, it's easy to, you're taught to watch the ball, not the man. And it's easy to sleep on that.
Keelan takes it, gives it to Dela Cruz, pounding his way behind his offensive line. He crosses the 45 to the 44. Enough for the first down with the gain of 4. First down Harding as the clock moves. 14 minutes to play before halftime. The Bisons lead it 14-0. And Landry, Harding in no rush, so you probably have to think, if you're a defensive lineman, take a peek at the play clock. If they're trying to snap, the ball before it gets under 10, you're probably trying to get drawn off.
Right, exactly.
Keelan takes the snap, pitches it outside to Spicer. Missed tackle in the backfield. Spicer steps through another one before he steps out of bounds. Carter Brock and Jalen Mays both missed tackles on the outside there for SNU, which would have been a big negative play. But Spicer able to dance away for a gain of 7 down to the 37-yard line. 2nd down and 3 for Harding.
Yeah, and it's tricky on outside tackle like that. It's easy to not shoot your hands through, and that's what it looked like. Just a little bit of shoulder tackling, and a good team like Harding, you got to fit and shoot your hands and make sure you're getting contact with your full body to the opposing team.
Everyone in tight on 2nd and 3. Keelan turn, pitches it outside. It's Braden Jay. Race to the corner with Kenyatta Richardson. He turns the corner at the 30, 25, 20, dances back inside, cuts it inside at the 10, inside the 5 before Austin Martin finally takes him down to the 3-yard line. A long run of 39 yards for Braden Jay.
Yeah, and you can see the fatigue, right? So that's pursuit drill right there. You have a quick running back who's just cutting it back in, right? You're supposed to aim for their hip, and about 5 Crimson Storm defenders overrun it. The one positive in that play, though, is you have your nose guard running 35 yards down the field to make the play.
Keelan turns, gives to Dela Cruz, and he plows his way in once again. for his third touchdown of the first half. And the Bison's an extra point away from going up 21-0.
Yeah, and the offense has got to get something going. You got to give your defense a break. They're gassed. You can see it. But also defensively, that's why you have two-a-days, to get in shape for moments like this. And I know it's a lot easier for us up here to say that than live it out, but it is time to get something going.
Ennis on for the extra point. Snap, hold, kick is up and good. 12-16 to go in the first half. Harding now leads this one 21-0. We'll take timeout and be back with the SNU offense after this break.
One of my favorite things about SNU was the relationships I was able to have with people, with professors, with friends.
One thing that was purposely different about SNU was the integration of faith into the academics. I feel like I learned so much from that helped prepare me for life after college, to be a husband and someday to be a father. It was a really, really transformational time in my life.
My degree could have come from anywhere, but my relationships with people, I know I would not have gotten anywhere else. Go to SNU or to schedule a visit.
Shadows creeping across the field here in Bethany. SNU trailing Harding 21-0. 12-16 to go in the first half. Luke McConnell, Landry Franks, the season opener for the Crimson Storm. Not going according to plan thus far. Grant Ennis to kick off to Donald May and Josh Johnson. SNU needing a spark somewhere. Ennis, high end over end kick. It's going to find May at the 1. Slips but regains his footing. Finds space up the middle and is crushed by Malik Mays at the 20-yard line. May loses his helmet. That was a tremendous hit from Malik Mays.
Yeah, Mays, I couldn't quite see him until he was making contact with Donald May. I mean, kind of came out of nowhere. Donald May had a good return and certainly looked like he had some space and was met right at the 20.
Just a reminder, targeting is a reviewable play. All targeting calls made on the field will be reviewed. Potential targeting calls will not be automatically reviewed. That has to come from the head coach. And Dustin Hayda obviously not seeing that as an opportunity to throw the red challenge flag. Sends his offense out there. 5 wide for the Crimson Storm. 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Fellows the man in motion. Porter, quarterback draw up the middle, and he had no chance. Zach Strickland coming in for the tackle in the backfield back at the 17-yard line. It's a loss of 4 for the Crimson Storm.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was a draw or not. It certainly didn't look like it was, but the center, Zach Cizik, just got beat on that play. I don't know if there was something going on, but it's hard to run whatever play you want to when you're getting pressure in the backfield.
2nd down and 14 for the Crimson Storm. Ball just inside the right hash. May comes in motion. Porter, option look with Jarrell Farr. Cuts across the 20-yard line. And he ran into the back of his blocker, Dalen Smith. Went out of bounds at the 21. So you got the 4 yards back. It's now 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and not necessarily Dalen Smith's fault on that one, but takes a step to the right as Gage Porter's cutting to the right.
Harding rotates fresh bodies in across the defensive line. On my count, they've already run out 11 different guys out there on the defensive line thus far. 5 on the play clock for the Crimson Storm, 3rd and 10. SNU needing a big play. Porter under pressure, sacked, lost the ball, recovered by the Bisons. It was Dre Hall who got there. They're now ruling it incomplete.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't look like his arm was going forward to me, but again, this can be reviewed. I imagine it will. We might see our first review right here, Luke. But
let's see what the ruling is as the head linesman and the line judge discussing with the referee what it's going to be. We don't have an official ruling either way. Caden Pierce recovered the loose ball.
Yeah, and Drew Hall comes, there's the challenge flag, Luke, but Drew Hall comes in almost untouched on the backside of Gage Porter. You know, obviously they sent more people than we had blocking, but no chip or anything.
Still discussing what the ruling on the field is going to be. I'm not sure what's taking so long here. Especially since if it's ruled incomplete, Paul Simmons is going to challenge this.
Right.
So he will be able to keep his challenge flag in his pocket as they rule it a fumble on the field. So the second turnover inside the red zone for the Crimson Storm of the first half. And Harding knocking on the door already, up 21-0 with 10:40 to go in the first half. Crimson Storm crowd trying to generate some energy for this defense, which has been on the field over 13 minutes of this first half already. Keelan under center from the middle of the field. Runs around right side, takes on the SNU defender. That's Emmanuel Obina who makes the tackle at the 10-yard line, but it's a gain of 6 on first down, 2nd and 4. Bisons can get a first down without scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, need a play here. Need something. A spark.
Keelan checking. Pitches it outside. Sinclair cuts inside at the 10. Crushed at the 5 by Obina. It's enough for the first down. Now the gain of 5 for Sinclair will move the sticks and make it 1st and goal Harding. And Sinclair missed all of last season with a leg injury, 878 yards and 6 touchdowns back in 2021. Landry at GAC Media Days, Paul Simmons said they've got as many home run hitters at that slot back position as they ever have.
Man.
In the 15 years they've been running this offense. Keelan, inside handoff, Stone Sheffield into the end zone.
Yeah.
Goes Sheffield, but a flag is thrown.
Looks like it'll be a hold.
And the SNU defense ecstatic that a flag is going to go against Harding.
You don't see many of those against Harding. Number 51, I think.
So the 10-yard penalty will push it back to the 15-yard line. Flag on center, Levi Pate, senior out of Commerce, Georgia.
Yeah, and I mean, you've been given a gift here if you're the SNU defense. 1st and 15, 1st and goal from the 15. They've got 4 downs. They're going to try to score. Great opportunity to make something happen after a penalty.
Ball on the right hash, Keelan under center. He's back to pass. He's under pressure. He's going down! Jake Wright again, all the way back at the 26-yard line as the sophomore from Southmore continuing to make plays here this evening.
That's right, and all of a sudden, oh man, they got a great spot on that sack, but all of a sudden it's 2nd and 26 from the 26, and SNU is has a great opportunity to get their offense back on the field without giving up a touchdown when they gave the ball over or turned the ball over in the red zone for the second time.
Clock moving, 8:40 to go first half, 21-0 Harding. Landry, SNU has made several negative plays here in this first half. Certainly a positive thing. Keelan fakes the pitch, rolls out. He's in trouble again, sets his feet, fires toward the end zone. Wide open receiver, touchdown Harding. Braden Jay found himself wide open in the end zone. Miscommunication in the secondary for SNU, and a back-breaking touchdown for Harding.
Yeah, and it's just a busted coverage. I don't know if it was the safety or the corner, but someone got lost on a crossing route. And if you get lost in man-to-man coverage, that means someone's open.
Ennis on for the extra point. Snap, hold, kick. All textbook. And a flag comes in after the play. Wesley Coleman lost his helmet. Let's see who this is going to be assessed on. Certainly frustration, something that SNU is going to have to manage defensively as this game continues. See what the call on the field is.
What number?
Didn't quite catch the number.
Yeah.
The referee pointed toward the SNU side, but it sounded like he said it was on Harding. It sounded like he said 99 of Harding.
Yeah, let's see if any.
So
of the
they are
SNU
assessing
coaches
this
are-
on the
Yeah, on
kickoff,
for
so-
Harding. Maybe it was just there's
So they're marking this back. So the
Anyway.
personal foul on Wesley Coleman of Harding, unsportsmanlike conduct.
not to be confused with Austin Martin, the Crimson Storm.
So a back-breaking touchdown given up by the Crimson Storm, but an opportunity here to get some good field position. SNU has started inside the 20 each of their possessions thus far. Crimson Storm still without a first down in the game. Just 8 yards of offense on 11 plays. Meanwhile, Harding, 27 plays, 150 yards of offense in the first half.
You know, Luke, it's almost like, when is the offense going to wake up? You know, we know it's there. We've seen it.
Lepak sends this one to Donald May at the 15. May gathers it in, probing up the middle, squirts through a couple tacklers, and he'll get up to the 34-yard line. Ball came loose. The official saying he was down. The SNU football at the 34-yard line. So good starting field position for the Crimson Storm as they take advantage of the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And the Harding defensive lineman Wesley Coleman. But a 28-0 hole for the Crimson Storm is the hill they have to climb in the season opener. Certainly not how you draw it up.
No, absolutely not. This is, you never want to be down 28-0, but you got to start somewhere for the Storm.
Porter, left side, pitches it out. Nice catch by Ramirez. And he's down the sideline. 45, 50, 45. Into Harding territory goes Angel Ramirez. Porter got taken out at the legs right as he pitched it. A nice catch on the hip by Angel Ramirez, and he's all the way into Harding territory to the 44-yard line. A gain of 22 on first down.
You know, every speed option that Gage Porter runs is anxiety-inducing because at any moment he could pitch the ball, whether his running back is looking or not. Angel Ramirez obviously has spent a lot of time with Gage, and we're certainly ready to field that ball, even if it's on his hip.
Halfway through the second quarter, 28-0 Harding. SNU on the move for the first time this evening in Harding territory. Two wide receivers right, one to the left. Robertson comes in motion to the near side. Porter dances outside across the 40. He goes, for he is belted down. Clark Griffin, on the tackle. Sophomore out of Mountain Brook, Alabama, 72 tackles a season ago. It's a 4-yard gain for Porter. 2nd down and 6 for the Crimson Storm.
Yeah, no rush here. You know you're down 28-0, but the goal right here is to get some points on the board and keep a drive going. So no rush for the Storm.
SNU will get the ball to start the second half. 3 wide receivers left, ball on the left hash for SNU. Porter gives to Ramirez around the left side, and he's taken down. That's Allen outside with the tackle after a gain of 3. It's 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, and the outside run game starting to open up for the Storm. You know, obviously Harding's defensive line is big and physical. The speed of the Storm starting to create some opportunities on the outside. Ramirez looked like he could have put his foot in the ground and maybe gotten a couple more, but his view is better than mine.
So 3rd and 3 from the Harding 37-yard line. Ball on the left hash, 2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. Ramirez is to the left of Porter in the pistol. Smith across the formation to the right side at tight end. Porter's back to pass. Blitz comes. He dances up the middle. He's tripped up, lost the football. Officials say he was down. They're marking him down right at the line of scrimmage at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, and a late call to say he was down. I don't know if you could see anything, Luke. Just saw a pile of bodies there.
So it's 4th down and 3. Crimson Storm going for it. Blake Nail, sophomore out of UConn, into the game for the first time this evening. A bit of a jumbo package for the Crimson Storm. Smith to the right side. Porter. It's a draw all the way. Dances outside. He's got the first down. Gets a nice block on the perimeter. And he's out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. A pickup of 10 for the Crimson Storm senior to the 27.
Yeah, and there's nothing in the middle again, right? No run up the middle. This is where Gage Porter's at his best, in my opinion, making something happen. Obviously, that's a draw or kind of a quarterback power draw kind of play where he has lead blockers, but the lead blockers are getting met by the defensive line, and he just takes one step to the left, and there's all kinds of space for him to get that first down.
4:30 to play in the second quarter. 28-0 Harding. SNU living on the left hash on this drive. 3 wide receivers right. Dalen Smith, the tight end, split out left. Ramirez to the right of Porter in the pistol set. Blitz coming. Porter has the snap. Back to pass. Flush to his right. Looking for help. Fires it toward the end zone. It's too tall for Donovan Hill. Nearly intercepted by Troy Wiseman.
Yeah, miscommunication by Porter and Hill. I think Porter's finger point was to get Hill to keep going towards the back of the end zone. I think Hill's thought the finger point was to stand there. But Gage Porter just casually shucks off a blocker on the outside as he boots on that pass play. That's the first time we've seen just 100% pass pro from SNU tonight on the offensive line, and held it pretty well.
2nd and 10. Colby Branch into the game along with Carlos Cepeda at running back. Porter has the snap. And it's loose on the deck. Porter still bobbling it. It's still loose. It's right around the legs of Vandy Cardenas. Harding says they have it. The whole sideline says they have it, and they do.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It seemed like from the snap, 2 people had their hands on the ball the whole time, and when Gage Porter took off with it, he never really had it either. It's just been one of those nights, Luke, where there seems to be progress and big plays are given up or mistakes are made.
So the best drive of the evening ends in another turnover. The 3rd of the half for the Crimson Storm, and Harding back on the field on offense with 4 minutes to go in the opening half. Keelan under center. Back to pass. Fades it to the outside. He just throws it
He's in the pocket.
to no one.
Throws it to no one.
It should be intentional grounding.
It's interesting that there is nothing. Coach Hayda doesn't seem too concerned with it.
There was nobody in the area at all.
That was, and he threw it about 5 yards out of bounds.
And there's the flag.
Okay. It was just too strange of a play. I'm not sure what, he's probably thinking his wide receiver has outside release, but even then, he threw it so far.
Yeah, Darius Brown ran to the inside. It looked like maybe one of the slot backs was running a wheel route, but even that, there was nobody in the near vicinity.
Yeah,
so
Paul,
a loss of 10 and second down.
Coach Paul Simmons not even arguing that call on that one. Just taking the grounding and moving on.
One of those little things, Landry, with the totally new receiving core. We've seen a couple slip-ups from that group tonight. 2nd and 20. Ball on the 18. Outside pitch. Chauncey Martin evades the tackle of Ethan Miner. He's going to be wrestled and thrown down in the SNU sideline by Emmanuel Obina, but all the way up at the 26-yard line. So a gain of 8 will bring up 3rd down and 12.
And Obina quietly having a really good game for middle linebacker, come into the outside, make a lot of plays. But if you're the defensive coordinator, SNU, you don't want Obina to make plays on the outside. You want your safeties and your cornerbacks and outside linebackers to be the ones making those plays. And certainly had a safety or a corner come down to make that play and just couldn't wrap up on the ankles.
3rd and 10, actually, from the 26-yard line. 3:15 to go in the half. Everybody in tight for the Bisons. From the left hash, Keelan fakes the pitch, back to pass. Sets his feet, fires. He's got the crosser. And he's got the first down at the 40-yard line. That's Dane Romberger, the junior out of Chicago, all the way up to the 41-yard line. Pick up a 15 and a first down for Harding.
And the coverage was there, right? So no one busted coverage or anything like that, but the depth was wrong. So you have a safety and a linebacker 20 yards deep when there needs to be some kind of stagger there, which left that slot receiver to just run all the way across the formation for an easy catch.
1st and 10, Harding from the right hash. 2:30 to go. Keelan keeps it himself around the right side, picks his way through traffic before he's stacked up and chucked to the ground by Colton Morris. And that's going to be a late flag coming up on the Crimson Storm outside linebacker as Morris picked Keelan up and threw him to the ground, and that's a definite no-no.
Yeah, and you just got to be disciplined. It makes sense, right? You're frustrated, tired, but when that whistle blows, you gotta stop your feet. You gotta hold up that quarterback.
So 2:18 to go in the half. Harding leading 28-0, and the 15-yard penalty moves it all the way down to the SNU 35-yard line. So Harding in prime position, Landry, with all 3 of their timeouts to put another score on the board before halftime. Keelan takes a snap. Inside handoff, Chauncey Martin cuts through a hole, shakes off a couple tacklers, still on his feet, all the way down inside the 20-yard line. And Landry, SNU's getting hands on these Harding backs, but just unable to bring them down on first contact.
Yeah, and that's just part of being tired, right? I know that the offense just had a long drive, but when you're tired and then there's another turnover, it's just hard to stay mentally and physically engaged on simple run plays like that. And, they're pretty clever, Harding is, with their run plays. That was, I think, a counter out of Flexbone, which is pretty interesting.
Keelan back to pass. Sets, fires, looking to the end zone to Roland Wallace. Incomplete, flag flies. Thrown by the side judge. Where he's throwing it, he's calling pass interference.
Yeah.
Didn't look like much there from Ethan Miner.
No, it didn't look like either of them could see the ball. So as much as he wants the flag, I don't think he even knew where the ball was going. Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Spot foul puts the ball at the 6-yard line where it'll be 1st and goal for the Harding Bisons. Paul Simmons going to take a timeout. Really, he was just wanting the play clock reset because it was sitting at 0. Well, now everything's good to go. 1:15 to go in the quarter. Harding 1st and goal at the 6 of SNU. Crimson Storm could use a stop in the worst way possible. Nothing for just the mental boost. Keelan pitches it outside. Spicer cuts it up inside at the 5. And he's down to the 3. Timeout Harding. He's 2nd and goal after the timeout.
First time out of the game, Luke. Kind of strange to think about.
Landry, this has certainly been unexpected. Historically, you would say that things are moving according to history. SNU trails in the series 1-9 against Harding. The only win back in 2017 against the Bisons, 28-27. They're 0-5 here in Bethany. Several shutouts in the series as well at the hands of the Bisons. But if you had told me before the start of the game that Harding would be winning this game 28-0 and SNU would be sitting on 48 yards of offense with 1 minute to go in the first half, I'd be mildly surprised. And I am.
Yeah. Oh, I certainly am too. The stagnation of the offense this half has been surprising. Now, credit to the offense. The last drive showed a lot of promise, showed what we expect from SNU minus the turnover, but just kind of shooting themselves in the foot, right? Like this isn't like they're playing really poorly. They're just making mistakes that we're not used to seeing from a veteran Southern Nazarene team.
2nd and goal from the 3. The ball is on the right hash for the Bisons. Keelan gives to Dela Cruz. He plows his way into the end zone once again. His 4th of the first half. And the Crimson Storm now trail this one 34-0 with 1:05 to go in the first half.
Yeah, and just thinking about what do you do at halftime? Obviously, your adjustments don't need to be made, right? Like you're not going in there and trying to change your playbook.
Extra point by Ennis, up and good.
But you are gonna preach discipline and focus. That seems to be just a little off.
Let's go down to Kent Gerard on the sidelines.
Needless to say, it has been a rough outing right now for this Crimson Storm offense. 3 turnovers plaguing the drives early. Going to look forward to value that ball a little bit more with about 1:05 to go here in the first half. Defensive side, couple miscommunications, and when you don't stop that outside sweep and that outside run, leads right up the. We're going to see what the defensive scheme looks like for the Storm here on these next couple possessions, maybe of the half, and then second half up.
Thank you, Kent. 1:05 to go. SNU will get one more shot to move the ball down the field. And Landry, if you're SNU, do you try to push the ball here, or do you kind of just sit on it and get to halftime?
You have one play on first down that is conservative.
Lee Pack, high end over end kick. Donald May from the 1 to the 15-yard line before he is crushed again. And the Harding special teams has really made a statement this evening as SNU starting inside their own 20 on each of their possessions outside of the one that they started at the 34-yard line thanks to the 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the extra point.
Right.
But these kickoffs from Lee Pack and Ennis both have been high end over end and have made SNU not be able to take advantage of the speed of May or Josh Johnson.
That's right. Yeah, Luke, I was saying first down, you have one conservative play. If you gain a good amount, then you might go for it.
Porter has the snap, rolls out to his left, looking for Donovan Hill on the sideline. It's incomplete. Pass was a little bit farther up the sideline.
Yeah, I'm not a coach, nor do I claim to be one. But now Harding has 2 timeouts. You've got to run the ball, right? And or you're really going to put yourself in a hole. So I'd expect Harding to use their 2 timeouts to try to get the ball one more time before half is over if SNU doesn't get a first down.
3 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. Farr, the man in motion to the left side of the formation. Porter back to pass. In trouble. Shovels it forward to Dalen Smith to the 25, to the 30, across the 30. And SNU will take it their first timeout.
Oh, no, it's rolling.
No, it is rolling. Head linesman hasn't gotten used to the new rules either. He was gesturing for the clock to be stopped. Now the side judge comes in.
I'm not sure.
See
It looked like Coach Hayda was calling a timeout. .53, clock getting changed back to 53 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like the officials are still learning here as well. The head linesman was gesturing for the clock to stop on the first down. That's no longer the case, except in the last 2 minutes. Porter fires it down the middle of the field. He's got Terrell Farr at the Harding 35-yard line. A strike right down the seam. So under 2 minutes, the clock does stop momentarily until the official winds it on the ready for play. SNU still sitting on all 3 of their timeouts. Coach Dustin Hayda opting not to use them at the moment. And now Harding is going to use their second timeout of the half.
Yeah, I think Harding's in a defensive front that
they don't like.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well to the pass game.
So my mistake for calling out the head linesman there for not knowing the new rules. That was me not remembering the new rules. Clock does stop momentarily on first downs under 2 minutes in the half, just like it did just a season ago. Landry SNU down at the Harding 34-yard line, 37 seconds to play with all 3 timeouts.
Yeah, and this timeout from Harding is pretty advantageous for the Storm. So you get a free timeout right here. And I get Coach Hayda's patience on taking timeouts. Obviously you don't want to take one too soon. But I'm sure he's thinking red zone, right? I want my 3 best plays inside the 20 if we can get inside the 20. And then, 1 extra to burn if we need to try to kick a field goal. And they do feel good about their field goal kicker this year who's really performed well this summer and in the spring.
True freshman.
I know, it's crazy. So big moment right here to get SNU on the board before half.
Porter takes a snap, back to pass. Steps up, avoiding pressure, and he's in trouble. He'll go down, and a timeout called by Dustin Hayda with 30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and
Armijo lost his helmet, but because of the timeout, he'll be able to stay on. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 34. Looked like Porter had room to the right, but he opted to try to scoot back to the left.
Yeah, it's, I don't want to tell Gage how to scramble. He's been good at it for a number of years, but when you make that decision, you really want to just try to pull the trigger as fast as you can because you have to think you have all these defensive ends and defensive linemen who have been blocked for some period of time who are getting a free release now to pursue you. So if you're kind of in the middle, which, Porter was taken down, I think, by the defensive tackle for Harding. So, but a good opportunity still. 2nd and 10, no loss of yards. Yes, you had to use a timeout, but you're still in a good position to get some points on the board before halftime.
And SNU does get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. So points here, paramount importance for the Crimson Storm. Down 35-0 with 30 seconds to go in the first half. SNU comes out, 11 personnel. Angel Ramirez the back, Dalen Smith the tight end. He's on the right side. Jarrell Farr, Donovan Hill to the top of the formation. Asa Robertson on the near sideline. Ball on the left hash. Gage Porter in the pistol set. Farr comes to the right side. Porter rolls to the right. In trouble. Fires it. Looking for Farr. And the pass skips short, incomplete. Third down upcoming. 6 seconds come off the clock. 24 seconds left in the half.
Looked like Gage was looking to run on that. Potentially, it wouldn't surprise me for an SNU offense to, even in 2-minute drill, have an option to run on just about every single play. So
remember, SNU went down the field against Southern Arkansas last year in under a minute and ran it the whole way to win the game. The one called pass fell incomplete. 3rd and 10, ball on the left hash. Low snap. Porter picks it up. Steps up in the pocket. Trying to escape from Clark Griffin. Fires it. Looking to the middle of the field. It's incomplete for Asa Robertson. Griffin bearing down on Porter from behind. 4th down from the 34-yard line.
Yeah, and he's been on the run a lot. I think the pocket's there for him, but he's not getting a chance to set his feet on the run. And, even on a boot, you want to set your feet so you can get your arm strength into it. Gage can certainly throw. But all those passes have been short because he's sprinting, he's tired. It's hard to get it there 20, 30 yards.
Porter now just 2 for 9 in the half. And SNU takes their 2nd timeout of the half. .16 to go in a opening half that has not been what SNU wanted in any way. The Crimson Storm, 99 yards on 24 plays. The Bisons, 34 plays, 196 yards. Held the ball for nearly 2/3 of the half. The big one, 3 turnovers for SNU, 2 fumbles and the interception. Spelled doom for SNU in this first half. So 4th and 10 for the Crimson Storm. 16 seconds remaining in the first half.
See a kicker anywhere? 50 plus?
It'll be 51 yards from here. I don't know if you trust the true freshman that much at this point.
No real breeze to give him extra confidence.
Pretty still out there tonight. That ball's not going to cut through that hot air. So 4th and 10. 2 wide right. Asa Robertson to the left with the ball on the left hash. Ramirez to the right of Porter in the pistol. Now Robertson comes to the right side of the formation. Porter, straight drop. Steps up in the pocket, trying to evade pressure. Circles back to the right, just has to fling it downfield, and it's going to be caught by Robertson! Robertson came back to the ball. Porter just threw it up there and hoped his junior wide receiver would find the ball. He did at the 17-yard line. 7 seconds.
Yeah, you got to snap it. It's
the,
about to start running.
The half. Robertson got out of bounds. So 2 wide either side, and now Paul Simmons is going to use his final timeout. So 7 seconds to play in the half. That looked a lot more like freshman, sophomore Gage Porter right there, Landry.
Yeah.
We've watched Gage his entire career, and that was a lot more of a play he would have made 3-4 years ago than the one he plays now. But if you see butts from the defensive backs, then
yeah, that's right.
The only one looking at you is your receiver.
You
had
make
that.
2 wide receivers in the middle of green grass. You had Farr and Robertson, right? And Gage, I think, just tried to meet him somewhere in the middle, right? Just kind of threw it in between both of them and hoped one of them would come back towards the ball. It goes down as completion. So
either way, it worked.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get praised for that in the quarterback room, but he'll get praised for making something out of nothing, I guess.
He'll get praise from us.
Yeah, that's right. You're welcome, Gage.
All right, so 7 seconds, Landry.
Yeah, no field goal unit. Maybe you're thinking you run one play. Maybe
I
you're just
think it's
thinking you need
touchdown.
touchdowns.
I think
touchdowns.
Coach
Yeah.
Haida's probably going touchdown or bust here.
Yeah. One timeout left. Maybe 2 plays if you're lucky.
2 wide either side. Porter back to pass. Looking over the middle, and it's intercepted. Ty Duggar went high and intercepted that one. It was intended for Asa Robertson up the seam.
Yeah.
And Porter just didn't quite put it high enough to get over the safety.
Yeah, it's a good read by the safety coming down on that play and high pointing the football on a seam route that he threw pretty quickly. That's not easy. Expect a knee here from Harding. We'll go into halftime.
So SNU's best drive of the half comes up empty. Keelan takes a knee, and that's how the first half is going to come to an end. It was all Harding in the first half. The Bisons lead this one 35-0 as the Crimson Storm and Harding head to the locker rooms. So we will take a break and step aside for halftime, and we'll come back with first half stats, break down the opening 30 minutes of the game, and get ready for the second half of action. Again at halftime, 35-0. The Crimson Storm trailing the Harding Bisons in the season opener. We'll be back after these messages.
Character, culture, and Christ have been the motto for Southern Nazarene University for many, many years. When I came as president, I was really curious about those words and really curious to dig into the archives. In fact, a conversation on campus one day with a visitor to our campus who asked that same question: what does character, culture, and Christ mean today? These days I like to talk about refining character. I think that we're all in process, and in those collegiate years, those years of a university experience, there's a great opportunity to refine character.
One of my favorite things about SNU was the relationships I was able to have with people, with professors, with friends.
One thing that was purposely different about SNU was the integration of faith into the academics. I feel like I learned so much from that helped prepare me for life after college, to be a husband and someday to be a father. It was a really, really transformational time in my life.
My degree could have come from anywhere, but my relationships with people, I know I would not have gotten anywhere else. Go to snu.edu to apply or to schedule a visit.
Welcome back to Bethany. Halftime at SNU Football Stadium. The Crimson Storm being shut out right now by the Harding Bisons, 35-0. The first half score. Luke McConnell and Landry Franks with you this evening. The season opener for both schools not going the way the Crimson Storm pictured it, Landry.
Oh, no. I mean, when we talked to Coach Hayda, the confidence was through the roof. Now, he wasn't anticipating blowing out Harding. But I definitely think he thought this would be a much more competitive game. And, honestly, I think he's probably telling those guys the same thing in the locker room, that this could be more competitive than it is. We've made mistakes that are not typical of SNU, and are not typical of, in particular, the offense. And so, yeah, not the greatest start to a half, but it's a long season, and there's still another half of football to play to prove something.
Yeah, things went south in a hurry after SNU got that stop on third down. They forced a punt and then threw the interception inside the 10-yard line. That was a really big moment in that first half,
Yeah.
Landry. You had the confidence with the defense getting the stop, getting off the field. Really good special teams play on the punt from Ryan Fox, and then obviously the interception setting up Harding first and goal.
Yeah.
And that was a 4-play sequence that really was a huge early swing of momentum for the Bisons.
Well, there's been really a couple of those moments. Not only that, but you have a third and manageable, and your quarterback gets sacked and fumbles. And then just a few moments later, you have the opportunity to get your defense off the field on second and goal from the 26, and you blow coverage, and then all of a sudden the score is 20 or 35 at that point, 35-0. So it's just been one thing after another. But I do think all of these things are correctable, right? So if you're an SNU fan and you're watching this game and you feel discouraged, I do think this second half will give you something to feel better about, especially going in the rest of the season. This is not the team that we're used to seeing, and I don't think this will be the team we're going to see all season.
Running through the numbers in the first half, Harding 35 plays, 195 yards, 18:37 in time of possession, averaging 5.6 yards per play. SNU 26 plays, 115 yards, 4.4 yards per play, 11:23 in time of possession. The Bisons 155 yards on the ground, 4.8 yards per rush. The Crimson Storm just 48 yards on the ground, 3 yards per rush. And Landry, like we said, the offensive struggles have – the Harding defense is good, is always very good. They've led the league in total defense and yards per play defense every year since 2016. They have a legacy of strong defense at Harding. I mean, their head coach, Paul Simmons, was the defensive coordinator for 5 years prior to becoming the head coach at Harding. They're very good. They're very deep. But SNU led the nation in yards per play last year. They led the nation in yards per rush, and nothing of the sort thus far. What have you noticed is just a little off for the Crimson Storm?
Yeah, I think the inside run game's really, really struggling. And one thing Coach Hayda was committed to last year, and I'm sure he is this year, is that if one thing's not working, we're gonna do the other, right? Like nothing's gonna change who we are. So if we have to run outside run, we're gonna run our outside run, right? If we need to run inside run, we're gonna run our inside run. And they had the longest drive that they've had that has been primarily outside run. And so I do think there is some opportunities there. They are good at blocking the outside. They have wide receivers and slots who can block well. So I do think there is something there, and they also had success in the passing game. Now I know that's not typical, the passing game for Crimson Storm, but I wouldn't be surprised with the deficit as it is to see Gage Porter let it fly a little bit more in the second half.
Defensively, it was a big thing coming in, some young guys along the defensive line, and we've seen some positives.
Yeah.
Harding has 2 touchdowns on touchdown drives that were less than 20 yards. Because of turnovers, and then, of course, other things as well. But we've seen some decent things from the defense. We've seen several negative plays. SNU with 3 sacks in the first half. A couple other negative rush plays forced as well, which can't always say for this Crimson Storm team. And a highlight for SNU in that first half. Look at Jake Wright, 6 solo tackles in the first half, 3 tackles for loss for the sophomore. He's been outstanding in the first half. So that's a young guy that has stepped up at that outside linebacker position and has made a lot of plays for you in that first half. Just needs more to join him in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's like you said, Luke, the young defensive line has held up. They haven't played poorly. It's just a matter of, attrition. How long can they hold up? And we saw in the first half that, 1 quarter, they can hold up pretty well. 2 quarters of being on the field, I think just about any player would struggle. So.
Individually, Gage Porter, 3 of 10 for 67 yards, 2 interceptions. Just to show you how well Gage Porter did last year throwing the football, 2 interceptions was his total from all of 2022 for last year's Super Region 3 Offensive Player of the Year. SNU will start with the ball, moving left to right in this third quarter, trailing 35-0. Magnus Lepak to kick. Donald May, Josh Johnson back deep to receive. Lepak, the run up and the boot. And this one's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. So SNU will get to start at the 25-yard line and will be some of the best field position that SNU has started with all night long, ironically enough.
Yeah, wise touchback there.
SNU starting outside the 21-yard line just a single time in that first half. They started at their own 18, 1, 16, 21, 34, and 15 on drives in that first half. Credit to the Harding special teams units, as they have done an outstanding job in that first half as well. Ball on the right hash, 2 wide left. Asa Robertson in motion now to the top of the formation. Porter takes the snap, puts it on the ground, pop pass over the middle, and Dalen Smith just out of his reach. He got crushed by Travis Greenewalt over the middle.
Yeah, and that's a wide receiver in this case, tight end's worst nightmare, arm up over the middle with the safety coming downhill at you. And Gage Porter just again a little high. Just his rhythm seems to be out. He dropped the snap, just it's not there.
2nd and 10. Porter gives it to Jarrell Farr running around the left side. Turns the corner 35-30, and he's out of bounds up at the 31-yard line. A gain of 6 for the speedy junior from Richmond, Texas. 3rd down and 4. And SNU really needing to convert their first third down of the game here. Ball on the left hash. 3 wide receivers right. Porter checking to the sideline. Porter has the snap. Again, pop pass over the middle. It's Robertson. Caught it at the 35. They're going to give him forward progress.
Yes, it's a great spot.
And that is generous, because a lot of times you see when the defender knocks the receiver back and then they regain their footing, they'll mark it back. But that's a first down at the line to gain, and SNU will go quickly. Porter spins away from the defense, trying to get outside. Gets away from 1 tackler, trying to get away from 2 more. He can't get away from the 3rd defender. That's Kyle McDonald. And a loss of 1 on first down for Gage Porter makes it 2nd and 11.
Yeah, and you're starting to see a little bit of rhythm for the SNU offense. I mean, obviously that play kind of blown up from the start, but the first series, or the first down, 3 plays that had some success. Yes, there was an incompletion, but the zones are there. The opportunities are there.
2nd and 11. Farr circles around behind Porter. Porter puts his foot in the ground, trying to cut it up the middle. Ran into the back of his defender, but that's because he was being pushed back by Austin Bailey, and Bailey makes the tackle for a loss. They're actually going to give Porter the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd down and 11 from the 34-yard line. Landry, the interior That Harding defensive line has really gotten a strong push tonight.
Yeah, they've been in the backfield all game, and that's fine, right? Like, you're going to give up some of that, but it's really slowed down their options for this offense. The things they like to do haven't always been there.
3rd and 11, Harding showing blitz. They back out of it. Porter looking backside, fires it up the seam for Donald May. It's incomplete. There should have been a hold.
Yeah.
No flag coming out.
Yeah, Donald
Harding
May
got away with that one.
Donald May just runs kind of a sneak route in between the cornerback and safety, and the safety knew it. Donald May was running wide open down the field, got tugged on his jersey, which slowed down the timing of Porter's throw. There's no call there. I'm sure Coach Hayes is probably not pleased with the line judge on that one.
So 1 first down, but another punt for SNU. Adam Atwell taking over the punting duties from Ryan Reed, sends this one out. Kendall Allen at the 31-yard line. Flag comes in on the far side.
Yeah, from the way far side.
Allen is taken down at the 39-yard line. Let's see what the flag is about. It was thrown after Allen caught the ball.
Wonder if it's sideline interference or...
See what it's all about. Don't believe it will result in SNU maintaining possession, but have been wrong before.
A flag from that angle would be surprising.
So after the kick, holding on the Harding special teams unit. So it'll be 10 yards back from the reception. So Harding will start 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line with 12:25 to go in the 3rd quarter. Harding leading 35-0. We'll take a break and be back with more. This is SNU football.
Character, culture, and Christ have been the motto for Southern Nazarene University for many, many years. When I came as president, I was really curious about those words and really curious to dig into the archives. In fact,
Welcome back to Bethany. Harding with their first possession of the 3rd quarter, setting up right in the middle of the field. Cole Keelan, the sophomore quarterback, leading the offense for the Bisons. 1 wide receiver to either side. Keelan gives it to Dela Cruz. Up the middle he goes for a gain of 2 out to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, and you can expect a heavy dose of Dela Cruz this half, trying to keep that clock moving. Harding is as close to professional at clock running as it gets.
Dela Cruz, 10 carries, 31 yards, and 4 scores in the first half. Everyone in tight for the 2nd down and 8. Keelan pitches outside to Jay. Ball is on the ground. Hit is loose. It's recovered by the Crimson Storm. Carter Brock coming up with the fumble recovery. Braden Jay with the fumble on the pitch. And the Crimson Storm have their first turnover of the evening inside the Harding red zone.
Yeah, it's nice to be on the other side of one of those.
Exceptionally nice. 11:49 to go in the 3rd quarter, and SNU starting in prime position at the Harding 18-yard line.
Yeah, it was just a speed option, or I guess triple option, that turned into a speed option, and it looked like a good toss. I don't know, sometimes you get your head up before you catch it, so.
SNU starts up 1st and 10 from the right hash. Three wide right, 1 to the left. Now Fellows goes in motion to the left side. Porter back to pass. He's in trouble. Escapes the pressure. He's got space. 10-5. End zone. Touchdown. Crimson Storm. Gage Porter finally escaped the blitz. And he found his way into the end zone as he did 27 times a year ago in SNU. Finally on the board with 11:41 to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, I think that was just a draw, and Harding sent pressure, and Gage was able to just sneak past one and had nothing but green grass in front of him.
Van Pruyen on for the extra point. It is up and no good. Wide to the right for the true freshman kicker. So Landry SNU finally breaks the scoring drought.
Off a turnover. That's what you want, right? When there's a
And
you
they
have
do
a
it
big
quickly.
play, you gotta repeat with another big play.
And let's go down on the sidelines with Kent Gerard.
Well, excellent pressure there by the SNU defense, able to force an easy fumble right near in red zone territory. Looking to capitalize on it. Excellent breakdown. Looking for those wide out. Told you the passes were going to open it up. Gage able to go right down the middle for a good, easy 6. Back to you, Luke.
Thanks, Kent. SNU leading 35 or trailing 35-6 here. Quick check on scores around the conference. Halftime out in Weatherford, Ouachita all over the Bulldogs, 28-0 against Southwestern. 1-point game in Magnolia, 17-16. Southern Arkansas leading Southeastern at halftime. Up in Alva, it's Arkansas Monticello 27, Northwestern 14. Second quarter score, 10-0 Oklahoma Baptist over Arkansas Tech. Henderson State leading East Central 10-7 early second quarter as well. Van Pruyen on to send this one deep. Jalen Spicer, Kendall Allen back deep. Allen, of course, first team All-GAC as a kick returner, had the 89-yard kickoff return for a touchdown a season ago, and is the career Harding leader in kickoff return average, just shy of 29 yards per return for the junior in his career.
That's a really good return average.
Van Pruyen again setting up for a short one. Spicer creeping up. High skied end over end kick at Spicer from the 29. Spicer trying to get outside. Upended. Lost the football. I think he was already down.
Yeah.
But Harding recovered it anyway at the 39-yard line. That would have been quite the momentum shift if that was legitimate and had found its way into SNU hands.
Luke, I could be wrong, but I think Jake Wright was the tackler on that play as well.
At this point, how is he not the tackler on every play?
Just safe to assume he's going to be making a play.
So 11:35 to play third quarter. SNU is on the board, trailing 35-6. Keelan under center. He'll take it himself around the right side. He's got space before he's belted down by Carter Brock after a gain of 9 up to the 49-yard line of Harding. It'll be 2nd down and 1 as the clock moves. 11:25 to play third quarter. Everyone in tight for the Bisons. They're on 2nd and 1. Keelan kicks it himself. Left side this time. Gets outside. Shakes off Emmanuel Obina. Down the sidelines he goes. He's forced out of bounds by Hiram Flores inside the 30-yard line at the 26 of SNU.
That's the same play 2 times in a row, just overloading one side and just taking the quarterback. I don't know. I mean, it's not a toss, but it's blocked like a toss. So the quarterback's just getting outside and finding some green grass.
Ball on the left hash. Keelan checks to the sideline. Keelan not particularly fast out there for the Bisons, but he was able to shake off Obina. Gain a good 20 yards after the contact. Keelan gives it to Dela Cruz up the middle across the 20. Still going. Keeps his feet going inside the 10. The stocky fullback unable to go down. Gets it all the way to the 8-yard line, 1st and goal.
Yeah, and you know, Luke, we talked about this in the first half, but you just got to use your arms. You got to throw your arms through that tackle. There's been, on that play in particular, there were 2 or 3 shoulder tackles, and he just shrugged those right off, able to keep his feet.
9:43 to go, 3rd quarter. Harding knocking on the door of answering the first score of the game for SNU. Just like that. 1st and goal at the 8, ball just inside the left hash. Keelan turns, pitches out to Spicer. Oh, what a play! Josh Johnson got by Braden Jay and took Spicer down for a 3-yard loss in the backfield. A great play by the senior from Borger.
Yeah, Braden Jay had no chance. Just got bulldozed right over, and Johnson making the play from the corner position.
And again, Landry, we've seen a lot more negative plays tonight.
Yes.
Against this Harding offense than we have seen from this SNU defense in several years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's when the defense has been exhausted on the big plays they've given up, and I wouldn't even call them big plays, 10 or less.
2nd and goal from the 11. Keelan running right, cuts inside, taken down by Johnson at the 6. 3rd and goal upcoming for the Bisons.
Yeah, Flores kind of makes that play possible. He's the one who takes out that lead blocker, so Johnson can come in from behind and make that play.
Now Johnson sitting on the turf.
Be cramping.
Yeah, probably cramp. It is a hot night. A week ago would have been worse.
Yeah.
It was interesting what Coach Hayda mentioned. You know, he said that they've been working the guys hard
Middle of
throughout
the day. Yeah.
spring practice, or excuse me, summer practice here, and getting ready for the season, running hard in, you know, the 106, 105 it's been over the past week or two, and then ironically gave them Sunday off this week, which is the coolest day we've had in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think it even got into the 90s. So sure there was some gratefulness for rest, but also some antagonism for not rest on a 110-degree day.
So Johnson limping off, favoring that right leg. So hopeful he will be able to get back out there shortly. In the meantime, Seth Spruill, the redshirt freshman out of Friendswood, Texas, coming on to man that left corner position. 3rd and goal from the 6. Big play here for the SNU defense. Clock moving. 8:35 to play. All on the right hash. Dela Cruz is the fullback. Keelan turns, gives it to Dela Cruz. No, Keelan with the keeper, and he fooled everyone, including me, and he scoots into the front corner of the end zone for another Harding touchdown.
Yeah, and this is just the almost limitless options that a flex bone provides you. As soon as you think you have it figured out, they can fake something new.
Harding will go for
here?
2, leading 41-6. Keelan keeps it himself again, trying to get outside, and he will again. So Harding converts the 2-point conversion and now leads this one 43-6 with 8:18 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I don't quite understand the going for 2 here, nor do I appreciate it too much, but sure there's some reason Coach Simmons is doing that.
All right, just getting a few reps in on, you know, your 2-point conversion plays, and
well, its 2-point
live
conversion
action.
play is the same play he just ran for the touchdown. So,
touche.
Yeah, we got what is that? Tom Landry and the coach for the Bears, Luke. You should know this.
George Hallis,
Oh no,
Mike Ditka.
maybe no before Dick. No, I'm thinking of coach for the Eagles. That was the defensive coordinator for the Bears.
Oh, Buddy Ryan.
Buddy Ryan and Tom Landry. Didn't they have a feud about 2-point conversions, I think?
I'm sure
Yeah.
Buddy Ryan feuded with a lot
Yeah,
of people
that's
in
right.
his day. 43-6 Harding over Southern Nazarene. 8:18 to go, third quarter. Still a lot of football to be played here at SNU Football Stadium. Magnus Lepak send this one away. Joa Flores and Donald May back deep. It'll be May from the 2. May into the middle of the field, and he is absolutely crushed. Might have lost the football in the process. Harding says they have it. It was Zach Strickland who laid the lumber.
Yeah, we have some
And
coaches.
Ken
out
West,
there.
and the referee says it is SNU football. Harding is saying they came up with it, but the referee gave the recovery to SNU. So it's SNU football. I believe recovery of a fumble on who recovered it is not reviewable.
Yeah,
But Donald May
Donald
getting
May,
looked at by the trainer. He took a massive shot
his lead
from
blocker
Zach Strickland.
got cleared out. And when your lead blocker gets cleared out, that means someone's coming full speed ahead at you. And hopefully he's okay. That's a tough hit. Nothing you can do about it either. I mean, nothing malicious or vicious in that, just football.
Again, non-targeting calls not automatically reviewed under the new replay system.
Seems to be okay.
So SNU will start 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line. 8:05 to go, third quarter. Robertson comes in motion to the near side. Porter fakes the give to him. Trying to evade the tackle of Caden Pierce. He's unable to do so. And Pierce takes down Porter for a loss of 1 back to the 17-yard line. And Landry, these Harding linebackers have really been the problem for Gage Porter.
Yeah.
The defensive line for Harding commands so much attention up front, and those linebackers have been pretty much unchecked.
Yeah, they're
running straight to the quarterback.
It's hard for them to get to the second level. You know, it's if you got someone right in front of you, you can't just let them go.
2nd and 11. Porter. No, it's Jarvis Davis who takes a snap, trying to get outside, and he's taken down for a loss of 2 by Landon Chafee, sophomore from Fort Smith. And Andrew, there's that formation.
Yeah.
And Coach Hayda gave us a heads up about, with both Jarvis Davis and Gage Porter out on the field at the same time. And the first use of it.
Yeah.
For a loss of 2.
Jarvis Davis looked like he got tripped up by the turf monster a little bit. But they do like the creativity with, you know, Jarvis is a good player, a good athlete, and someone they want to get the ball to. But it's hard to make a bunch of changes in your offense or to run plays like that.
5 on the play clock. Porter set, back to pass. Got time, steps up. Now he will run. Across the 20, across the 25, takes on the defender. He's got the first down as he ran through the tackle of Jeremiah Jordan to get the first down. A 15-yard pickup for Porter on 3rd and 14, and the Crimson Storm senior moves the chains. SNU quickly to the line of scrimmage, 2 wide either side with the ball in the middle of the field for Gage Porter. And now a false start on the Crimson Storm.
On a couple, Asa Robertson, I think, is the Coach Hayda set with the line judge about something.
Multiple SNU players moved. It was a matter of who was going to be credited with the penalty. Coach Hayda said his piece, and it's 1st and 15. Under 6 minutes to go, third quarter, 43-6. The Bisons with the lead. 6th penalty of the evening on SNU tonight.
You know, they have been somewhat disciplined in penalties, a couple false or defensive offsides and things like that, but it's been all the other areas that have been the real struggle.
2 wide right, 1 to the left. Porter takes a snap, fakes the give to Ramirez. Back to pass. In trouble. Steps through. He's got space. Looking downfield, steps through a couple tackles. Steps outside of the 30. Crushed from behind. Lost the football. It's still loose. Don't know who got it. Harding says they have it. It was Caden Pierce pursuing the play who knocked the ball loose from Porter. And it's Harding football. Caden Pierce, the junior from West Monroe, Louisiana, missed Porter in the backfield but kept pursuing the play and forced the fourth fumble of the night for the Crimson Storm, and that's the 3rd lost fumble for SNU this evening.
Yeah, and just don't look like themselves.
And a bevy of backups in for the Bison, starting with redshirt freshman quarterback Malik Young out of Cordova, Tennessee. Dennis Carroll also in at center. See if we can cover all of them for you. Up the middle was fullback Andrew Miller, redshirt freshman out of Searcy. Also see Jake Mitchell along the offensive line, Dwayne Johnson out there as well. Number 73, Carter Lees, out there right now for the Bisons. Also see 78, Dylan Derry. The full new offensive line out there for the Bisons. Inside handoff, Omar Sinclair. Big hit by Cole McMahon. Stops Sinclair 3 yards short of the first down. 3rd down and 3 upcoming.
And if you're a defensive player for the Storm, right, you are discouraged because of the score, because of how you played, and you see 2s come in for Harding, and I think there's 2 tendencies to get really frustrated and do something maybe irrational, or to just take plays off. But these 2s for Harding trying to prove themselves, so they're going to go hard. And as a defensive player for the Storm, you got to be focused.
Young around the right side, taken down from behind by David Omasigo. Nice job there by the sophomore linebacker. 4th down and 2 upcoming, and Harding will send on the field goal unit. Nice job by Omasigo and the SNU defense getting the stop and forcing the field goal attempt here from Grant Ennis, 3 of 5 a year ago. Long of 43, the senior from Lavaca, Arkansas. Holder Cooper Carroll at the 29-yard line. We have a 39-yarder from the right hash. Snap, hold, kick on the way. It's got the distance, and it's good. 3:11 to go, 3rd quarter. Bisons extend their lead to 46-6 in Bethany.
Yeah, you know, Luke, it's one of those nights where everything positive you seem to do comes with almost a greater negative on offense. And it's one of those games where I think it would be easy as a player to just kind of coast into the end of this game. And the offense for the Storm need to take this as a moment of pride where they can put something together and play hard and well. But also, I'm sure Coach Hayes is thinking about keeping some of his guys healthy, and this is a good opportunity also for some of those younger guys to potentially have an opportunity to see the field and game speed and make something happen too.
Flores and Asa Robertson back deep for the Crimson Storm, as both Donald May and Josh Johnson have been dinged up this evening. So not available for returns there. Tulsa native Magnus Lepak on to send this one away to the Crimson Storm once again. Lepak sends this one deep. And it goes into the end zone for a touchback. So SNU will start 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Like the SNU starting offense staying out there right now.
Yeah, need the reps. First game of the season.
Harding leaving a lot of starters out on the field as well. Some folks farther down the depth chart out there also, but plenty of capable bodies out there.
Yeah.
Jarvis Davis out there with Porter. Lined up in that formation Jada talked about. Cizik snaps it to Davis, hands it off to Porter, running left. Gets outside, puts Allen on the ground with a stiff arm. Then a nice tackle on the outside by number 17 for the Bisons, Cameron Mitchell-Johnson.
Yeah, it was a good tackle. Oh, that stiff arm, though.
Kendall Allen went down real fast there. 2nd and 5 for the Crimson Storm.
Yeah, this formation is so unique. You have two quarterbacks in the backfield, both with their hands up, ready to receive the ball.
And now Davis is split out in the slot. Now he'll move back.
So you have a
beside Porter.
Diamond formation.
Snaps to Davis, fakes the handoff to Porter, and Davis is crushed for a loss of 1.
You know,
Terrell Watson was the man with the first contact.
So the reason you put the two quarterbacks in is you got two talented quarterbacks who can run and pass. Creates lots of options, but we've really only seen the Storm kind of run one option out of it, right? You have the running back in the backfield that is running a dive, essentially, and then you have the speed option or the counter to the other running back, or the other quarterback, excuse me. It's hard to keep it straight.
2 wide right, 2 to the left. Now Colby Branch comes in motion to the slot left. Porter's back to pass. It's a draw. Steps up into the middle. Just taken down by Chafee, but he did get enough for the first down up to the 39-yard line. First down for the Crimson Storm. They actually mark him at the 38. Landry Porter a little hesitant there. The C's parted in front of him, but he kept looking to pass.
Well, he was about 3 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, so good thing he didn't.
Branch comes in motion to the near side. Ball on the left hash. 3 wide receivers right now. Porter looks that way. It's a quick slant to Colby Branch, and it one hops to him incomplete.
Just out of sync. You know, this is abnormal for what we've come to see from this almost exact same offense. Just everything seems a step slow or step behind.
54 seconds to go in the third quarter, 46-6. The Bisons leading the Crimson Storm. 2nd and 10 from the SNU 38-yard line. Porter fakes the give to Fellows. Up the middle he goes. Nearly stepped out of a tackle, but taken down by Caden Pierce. Gain of 4 up to the 42-yard line, and got an injured Crimson Storm player on the field, and I believe that's Caleb Bates, the right guard for SNU. Bates, senior out of Locust Grove. Spent time everywhere on the offensive line except for center in his career. Bates being attended to by the training staff.
You know, look, you can almost see Porter and anyone on the offense who's getting the ball right now kind of wanting to desperately make a big play. You know, And that it makes sense, right? You're down big, and as a coach, it's got to be really difficult to try to coach into players. Hey, we're just gonna do this next play. Like, we can't score 40 points right now, but we can do well in this next play.
Bates able to walk off. His arm around trainer Travis Veach, favoring that right leg. Third down and 6 is the situation with 41 seconds to go in the third quarter for the Crimson Storm. Ball in the middle of the field. It looks like, see who steps in along the offensive line. Looks like it'll be senior Aaron Basavich.
Yeah, and this is what Coach Ada talked about, the best 6 linemen. They're good about adjusting or moving anybody where they need to have the best out there.
2 wide to either side. Ramirez, the back to the left of Porter. Porter fakes the give to Fellows. He is hemmed in quickly. Now spins around to the other side, crosses midfield. 45-40, 35 inside. The 35-yard line goes Gage Porter all the way down to the Harding 32-yard line. He was dead to rights on the left side of the line, spun away from it, and found lots of grass deep into Harding territory. SNU going quickly, trying to get a playoff before the end of the third quarter. They do. Porter back to pass. Fires it. Looking toward Tisdale in the end zone. He's got it! No, incomplete is the call.
I don't know how that's incomplete. I mean, this is certainly one to use a challenge flag.
And the officials are stopping play. Coach Hayda's hot under the collar about something.
Yeah, Luke, from
certainly looked like
our
Tisdale
perspective, unless they said he bobbled it, I don't know if it was a touchdown, but he certainly looked like he had feet in.
So here at the end of the third quarter, we have our first video review of the 2023 season. Just a reminder, all the usual things are reviewable. Just reviewing if that pass was caught in bounds. The system they use is the coach's film.
Yeah, and there's 2 angles, south end zone, and then the press box view. I think hopefully one of those shows that he got a foot down. I mean, the pylon is right now down. You know, that's not inconclusive evidence, Luke, but man, from our vantage point, it looked really clear. It was a great ball by Gage Porter. I mean, pressed the corner to the outside, gave the advantage to his wide receiver.
So just 2 angles available to the officials, but they do have the ability to zoom in and manipulate it a little bit. And Landry, you know, it's certainly hopefully going to be a case where hopefully things aren't standing or overturned just because there's a lack of angles or video. So the call is overturned. It is a reception for Andrew Tisdale. It will be 1st and goal for the Crimson Storm. We'll see where they spot it.
Yeah, that was the
inside the 5. Blake Nail checking into the game. Jumbo package upcoming for the Crimson Storm offense.
Yeah, Blake Nail playing tight end, but also left guard. Is that right?
So now I think we're having our official end of or between quarter break as the officials just sent the Harding defense back to the sideline.
The 1 yard line.
So first and goal, Crimson Storm from the right hash on the 1 yard line. And just a beautiful strike there from Gage Porter to Andrew Tisdale. Tisdale had a great season in 2021. Just 4 receptions for 60 yards a season ago. Game number 30 for Tisdale. Coach Hayda officially 1 for 1 on challenges. See if he can keep his perfect record going all season long. First and goal, Crimson Storm.
Oh.
Gage Porter trying to get the hurry up snap. Now the umpire is pointing at someone.
Several defensive players. Oh, okay, there's a timeout on the defense.
So Cooper Carroll, safety for the Bisons, called timeout. So that saves SNU 5 yards.
Yeah, that's not quite sure that Cooper Carroll meant to call a timeout. Didn't.
He seems a little befuddled that he called a timeout.
Yeah, and that is when you're making defensive calls, right? So defenses are constantly talking, right? And there's certain things you can say and you can't say. You can't simulate a snap of any kind. You can't clap. And you also try to avoid words that sound like timeout or ref or things like that because it's confusing. You want the refs not to be involved in your defensive structure. And I just wonder if they said a defensive call that sounded a lot like timeout, and the back judge called one.
So SNU maintains their first and goal situation at the 1 yard line. Ball on the right hash. And Landry, if you're the SNU offensive line, this is a opportunity to assert yourself a little bit.
Yeah,
this is a formidable challenge to get 1 yard against the Harding front.
That's right, and the outside run game is a little more difficult in the red zone, but when you got Gage Porter as your quarterback, you just need an inch. Just need a little bit of a push.
Porter in the pistol, Nail to his right, Ramirez behind him. Porter, draw all the way, following Nail. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Gage Porter. And the Crimson Storm in the end zone for the second time tonight with 14:55 to play. Van Pruyen on for the extra point. Andy Cardenas comes off favoring his left leg a little bit. Cardenas moving inside to left guard this season after starting the last 2 years at left tackle. Van Pruyen's second kick, much more confident, and he booms that one through and over the fence in the back, and I think that my van just took one on the chin from that extra point. Gets it right out of the shop and goes straight to get a football to the windshield. Let's toss it down to Kent Gerard. He's down on the sidelines with a report from the SNU.
Yes, Grant, so despite some obviously shortcomings of this Crimson Storm offense, they continue to fight, claw, and scratch their way to 13 points here early in the fourth quarter. We'll see what Coach Hayda has marked up for his defense and see if they can get a couple more stops quickly to see if we can make this game a little bit more competitive. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kent. And Kent Gerard, our resident sideline reporter.
Right.
We'll have him all season long. Kent, of course, member of the SNU men's basketball squad as well. The Bartlesville native.
Doing a great job.
Doing a fantastic job. And excited for what producer Grant McNews got cooked up for us this year up here in the broadcast booth. So hopefully you're enjoying all the new tweaks and changes on the broadcast back at home. Looking forward to streamlining that and making it as quality as possible for you folks back at home, both SNU fans and those of you tuning in who are supporting whichever away team. For you folks back in Searcy, hopefully you're enjoying the broadcast as well. 14:55 to play. The Bisons lead this one 46-13.
See if we get another. I said high on sides, more just kind of a dropping it at the 30-yard line. But he's got a full 10-yard step back this time, so it looks like we're going to the end zone.
Allen and Spicer retreating accordingly. Van Pruyen, the run up and the boot, and this is actually a squib. It bounces and is fielded at the 28 by McDonald, and he's going to be ushered out of bounds at about the 37, 38-yard line. That's where the Bison offense will put it in play. Bison's rolling with the backup units along the whole offense right now. Mark it at the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 from the left hash. Malik Young out there at quarterback, the redshirt freshman from Cordova, Tennessee. And Landry, the Bisons have been rolling with the triple option since about 2010.
Yep.
Paul Simmons said at Media Day that when one of the coaches came in and said they were going to make the switch, he quickly made up a list of 10 bullet points of why it was not a smart idea. Simmons, the defensive coordinator at the time. And, of course, all Harding's done is lead the nation in rushing multiple times over the last few years. Here's a big run on the outside for the Bisons. That's Myron Mason, transfer from Missouri State University, all the way into SNU territory at the 43, and Hiram Flores down on the field for SNU.
Yeah, and Flores made a great tackle, right? You get the ankle, you turn and roll so that the runner goes down, and I think in doing so, his calf or hamstring seemed to cramp up on him. Yeah, you know, if I was a defensive coordinator and my offensive coordinator said, hey, I know that the way of the nation is the spread, passing, getting the ball to athletic players any way possible, but I want to run the flex bone. I think I would do a similar double take. My list might be more than 10. But yeah, Harding has been so successful with it. That's hard to argue with the results.
1st and 10, Bisons 14-30 and counting. 46-13, Harding with a dominating lead over the Crimson Storm. Aided in large part with 5 SNU turnovers tonight. Ball on the right hash, receiver to either side. Give up the, nope, it's Young keeping around the left side. Stacked up at the 37-yard line. Be a gain of 6. 2nd down and 4 upcoming. Crimson Storm in action on the road the next 2 weeks. They travel to Russellville to take on Arkansas Tech. And then to Alva to take on Northwestern before we're back at home on the 23rd of September against Southwestern Oklahoma State and Southern Arkansas on the 30th. 5 games here to start, 4 of them in September, 3 at home. Here's Young. Inside give. And runner's going to be stacked up. Omasigo coming again from the backside. That was Mason once again. Loss of 2. Back to the 39. Omasigo cramping up.
Makes the tackle, stands up, and catches a Charlie horse.
Trainer Travis Veach attends to him. Quick check on scores around the conference. Ouachita leading Southwestern 31-7 out in Weatherford. Southern Arkansas leads Southeastern 24-19 out in Magnolia. 27-24, Arkansas Monticello continues to lead Northwestern up in Alva this evening. Halftime over in Shawnee, 13-7. Oklahoma Baptist with the lead on Arkansas Tech. And halftime out in Arkadelphia, 24-13. Henderson State leading East Central. Here our score 46-13 in favor of the Harding Bisons. 3rd down and 6 for the Crimson Storm defense. Can they get another stop? Young under center. Movement everywhere. Flag flies. Pass is incomplete. I think we're going to get offsides on SNU.
Yeah, it would seem to be that way with just about every single player on the defensive front. You know, Harding must be using that hard count pretty sparingly, and every time they've done it, they seem to get free 5 yards from it.
5-yard penalty makes it now 3rd and 1. Nick Blanchard, one of the leaders on this defensive line, having a strong word of encouragement for Devontae McCleveland, the freshman offending party. 3rd and 1 now for the Bisons. A much taller task now for the Crimson Storm with 13 minutes to play. Young around the right side, keeps his footing and gets down to the 31-yard line for the first down. Under 13 minutes to play. Bison's 1st and 10 from the right hash. Harding looking at next week's game, hosting Oklahoma Baptist, and then they host Arkansas Monticello before going to Arkadelphia to take on Henderson State in the first of the big round robin between Harding, Ouachita, and Henderson State. Young pitches it outside. Chauncey Martin cuts it up, trying to run away from Jamari Johnson. Johnson tracks him down, but after a gain of 8.
Yeah, and the reason there was a gain of 8, there was an outside receiver for the Bison holding, but not going to be called. Some jersey pulling.
All spotted at the 24-yard line. Bisons need the 22 for a first down. 2nd down and 2. Clock continues to move. Under 12 minutes to play. 46-13 Harding. Young gives it up the middle and breaking free to the end zone goes number 30, Josh Strickland, the redshirt freshman out of Dixon, Tennessee. Burst through the crowd, shook off a tackler, and found the black painted end zone. And the Bisons now go up 52-13, pending the extra point from Grant Ennis.
Yeah, no going for 2 this time. I don't know if their goal was to get to 50 or what their thought was there.
Snap, hold, kick. All good for the Bisons. With 11:28, Harding now leads 53-13, and we'll go down to Kent on the sideline.
Well, guys, the sweeps and jets have been the story this entire game, and it's not looking to change anything different. You just heard 53-13. The linebackers and the cornerbacks are being stretched thin. Not much pressure up the middle. SNU looking to make a little bit of a difference here with just under 11:30 to go. Seeing if they can tack on a couple more scores here on these next drives. Back to you guys.
Again, Landry, offensive production-wise, things, you look at the stat sheet here, and it's not glaringly bad. Harding now 52 plays, 316 yards. They're averaging 6.1 yards per play. SNU 45 plays, 234 yards, 5.2 yards per play. Harding, 276 yards on the ground, 5.5 yards per carry. SNU just 132 on the ground, 4.5 yards per carry. But again, Landry, like it was last year, turnovers, the story.
Yeah.
5 for SNU today, and Harding has taken advantage every time this evening.
Yeah, and yeah, it's going to crush you, especially when you have, 3 turnovers in your own red zone, and 2 of those being in the first half when you really need some momentum. I feel confident. SNU is a good team and a team that has improved year over year over year, and I fully expect them to do the same thing again this year. But that's what separates Harding and SNU right now is those mistakes and those not happening in situations that can really hurt you.
Lee Pack, the run up and the boot. Asa Robertson calling for the fair catch, so SNU will start 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Moving right to left in this fourth quarter. Gage Porter heading back out there to lead the offense. And Landry, just like we saw at the end of last year, especially in that Oklahoma Baptist game to close the season, Gage stayed in there pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
Thought it was his final ride, so getting every play out of it. Now here he is for another ride this year.
One more final ride.
One more final ride for Gage, and so I would imagine that he's going to demand as many snaps as possible. Diamond formation here. Porter fakes the give to Robertson. Hemmed in on the backside, trying to get help. Gets a nice block from Robertson. He's going to be flagged for illegal blindside block, but Porter dumps it ahead to Angel Ramirez. Gains 12 on the play, but Asa Robertson is going to get flagged for illegal blindside block.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Luke, you have to be in a position to where the defender can turn their head to see you to do kind of a crackback block now.
I believe that is the official ruling, yes. Got to be in front of the defender.
Certainly wasn't a block in the back. Oh.
So SNU also had an eligible man downfield on Zach Cizik. That one obviously declined for the more punitive option of the 15-yard blindside block penalty on Asa Robertson. So the march off half the distance to the goal and spotted at the 12.5-yard line. 1st and 23 now for SNU with 11:15 to play. 53-13. The Bisons been all over SNU tonight and have really smothered this SNU offense. Porter in the pistol. Smith, the tight end to the right side of the formation. Porter, pop pass over the middle. Caught by Robertson. Slips away from a couple defenders and gets across the 25. Back to the 27-yard line. So a nice pickup of 15 there for Robertson, the junior out of Medill. Spent a lot of time this offseason, said working on getting rid of some hamstring injuries that have plagued him over the course of his career. A lot of isolation work there, and was confident in what he'd been able to accomplish in the offseason. Porter gives it to Jarrell Farr, running to the near side, turns the corner at the 30 and slips out of bounds at the 34-yard line, which will bring up 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, and you can tell that Gage likes Asa, trusts him. He's got good hands, secure hands. That's not been the first time they've run that pop pass. The reason that pop pass is interesting, there's a few options out of it. The backside, or the far side, is a screen, but Gage must be reading that linebacker is evading and just throwing it right down to the open man and Asa.
3rd down and 1 for the Crimson Storm, 9:50 to play. Give is to Davis, who hands it to Porter. He's got the 1st down up to the 36-yard line. So once again, that tricky package with Porter and Davis out on the field at the same time.
We need a name for it.
We do.
Yeah, it's gonna happen again in this.
We've got a couple weeks to come up with one. We'll put our heads together with Coach Hayda in a few weeks to see what he thinks of our brainstorming sessions.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have lots to say.
9 minutes to go, 53-13. 1st and 10, Crimson Storm. Davis now comes in motion. Porter keeps it himself and is slung down at the 40-yard line. Davis got chopped down by defensive end Dre Hall. Not exactly what the backup quarterback probably would like to happen on a play like that. Gain of 4 for Porter, 2nd and 6. Ball in the middle of the field. Davis keeps it himself this time. Didn't pitch it out to Ramirez, and it's taken down for a loss of 1 that time. 27, Luke Martin, redshirt freshman out of Dickinson, Texas, on the tackle. Which brings up 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, he had a pitch man, but the pitch man's line was almost parallel to him. So it would have been a tough, maybe even risky.
Maybe even forward.
Yeah. So it's easy to be bystander and say pitch it, but it's harder to make it happen.
SNU uses their first timeout. 7:37 to play. Getting late in a couple other games around the conference. Ouachita leading Southwestern 38-14. Southern Arkansas 27, Southeastern 19 over in Magnolia. Monticello near the end of the 3rd quarter leads Northwestern 35-24. And East Central, Henderson State, Oklahoma Baptist, and Arkansas Tech each still at halftime in their games. So 3rd down and 7 for the Crimson Storm. 2 wide to either side with the ball on the left hash. Ramirez is the back to the right of Gage Porter. Now Robertson goes in motion to the top of the formation. Porter back to pass. He's got time. Rolls right, looking for far down the sideline, and it's going to be intercepted by Luke Martin, who came over and out-jumped Jarrell Farr for that one. It's an interception for the Bisons, and the 3rd interception of the night for Gage Porter.
And it didn't look like he got his foot down. There's a big conversation with the refs, but unless it's challenged, it's going to stand.
The Harding defense all over Martin on the far sideline. Zach Cizik a little banged up as he walks gingerly off the field. Another new quarterback for the Bisons. This one is Tyler Ross, sophomore out of Webb City, Missouri, as the Bisons take over 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line. Ross running outside on the right side. Gains 6 up to the 44-yard line. 7:18 to play. The Bisons continue to wear on this SNU defense. The SNU starting unit still out there right now. Bisons mostly down the roster players out there. 2nd and 3rd teamers right now for the Bisons.
Yeah, and if you're SNU, you want to have some pride. You want to finish this game.
Now Carter Brock
goes down
with a cramp and gets up and jogs off. 6:44 to play. 53-13 Bisons.
Yep, and Bison's in no hurry here. I mean,
Ross keeps it himself around left guard. And he stood up at midfield by Jalen Mays, but not before the first down for the Bisons. First down for Harding, under 6 minutes to play.
Yeah.
The ball right at midfield on the left hash.
Luke, where do you go from here if you're Coach Hada, the Storm? What steps are you taking?
Well, I mean, it's hard. It's a tough two-edged sword. On one hand, you get Harding out of the way. You don't have to worry about defending the triple option sometime middle of the season.
Right.
You get this out of the way. You've already taken one of the heavy hitters in the conference off your schedule for the rest of the year. You don't have to worry about that anymore. On the flip side, this is probably a big confidence hit for the Crimson Storm, given just the way this has transpired and given the expectations, the taste of success from a season ago. I mean, even a taste of success against this very Harding team, who have a lot of the same guys back. I mean, a few pieces here and there on both sides. As Andrew Miller falls forward to the 41-yard line, it'll be 3rd and 1. But a lot of similar pieces on both sides, and just a very different feeling outcome in this one. Even though last year 56-28, obviously not a close game by the scoreboard.
But statistically, I mean, it was closer. There, obviously, I think Harding had 5 big plays that kind of busted that game open. This one, Harding's just grinded SNU down.
Pitch outside. Loose ball. It's officially still loose, and SNU, I think, came up with it. Officials never blew the play dead. It was Mason on the carry. I think SNU came up with the ball. The referee just threw a flag. I'm not sure who that's going to be on. I think it's going to be on SNU's Cameron Flowers.
Yeah.
We'll get the word from the referee here. They do tag Cameron Flowers with the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yeah, and
SNU gets the turnover. And the offense heads back out on the field. This time Jarvis Davis will be leading the group.
Yeah, Gage Porter worked hard tonight. I don't think anyone lacked effort for the Storm. Just the execution was certainly lacking.
Davis, quick hitter to Dalen Smith over the middle. The 45, pushing his way, pushing the pile up to midfield. And a first down for the Crimson Storm junior out of Sayre, Oklahoma.
And he's quietly had a really good game. I think that's his 3rd catch. He's blocked well. He's run good routes. He's played outside receiver. He's played slot. He's played tight end.
2 wide either side for Davis. Back to pass. Pressure comes. He evades it. Fires down the field. He's got Tisdale wide open at the 20. And he's forced out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. A great rope of a throw from Jarvis Davis to find Andrew Tisdale down the near sideline.
You can see the comfort level between Jarvis Davis and Gage Porter in the pocket. Jarvis certainly more comfortable in a pocket. Gage loves to run.
Harding going to burn a timeout with 3:19 to play. SNU first and goal at the 7-yard line. Terrific throw there from Jarvis Davis. Andrew Tisdale with his second big catch of the night. Let's go down to the sidelines with Kent Gerard, who's got a report.
Much easier, I can't explain. Whenever you finally ran the read option all night, SNU's finally figured it out. You run the read option all night, you get the linebackers and the DNs to sink in, and then you got every safety and every cornerback on earth playing man. Makes it so much easier. Those little lobs right down the field. Jarvis able to get it right in the pocket, right where we needed it. Back to you guys.
Indeed. Tisdale, Landry looked like he came out of the slot there, slipping behind that outside route.
Yeah, and those
just got lost in coverage.
Yeah, those are tricky to cover.
Davis gives it to Ramirez. Up the middle he goes, and he's spilled at the 4-yard line.
You know, Tisdale too, right? Like you have at SNU, what did Coach Hayda say? He said, you don't get the rock if you don't block.
That's right.
What a great quote.
It's a beautiful quote.
And you also don't get to catch the ball in this offense if you're not blocking, because so many of those longer routes, you're going to run 8 yards to your man and act like you're going to block, and then you just release. And it seemed like Tisdale did that.
Hope receivers coach Ken West makes shirts. No rock or no block equals no rock.
Yeah, that's right. He said a couple things that were interesting today.
Second and goal from the 4. Davis hands it to Porter, who's back into the game, and he's stacked up. Lost the football. The officials are saying he is down. Porter got bent all sorts of awkward ways on that one.
Yeah.
Probably does yoga with how flexible he was after those hits. Holy smokes.
Yeah, and he's coming out. Need a breather after that one.
Lost 2, back to the 6. Third and goal.
Got the jumbo package in.
Ball in the middle of the field. Ramirez is the back. Nail the fullback to the left of Davis. Everybody creeping in. Davis, pop pass over the middle. It's incomplete. Just a little too high and hard for Dalen Smith. The right read, though, Landry, because everyone was creeping in on that one.
Yeah, and this is a tricky play call. You're not 4th and short. You're not 4th and long. You're kind of 4th and medium. You got to score. The playbook is not huge for 4th and 6s in the red zone. Probably maybe a flood concept, trying to get everybody moving one way.
2 tight ends left. Davis trying to run counter, throwback, wide open, Angel Ramirez, and he gets into the end zone. Made it a little more interesting than it probably should have been, but he got in the end zone nonetheless. And that was exactly what you called, Landry, a little bit of a flood concept going right.
Yes.
And Ramirez just leaked out of the backfield and was wide open on the near sideline.
Yeah, you're just kind of banking on that backside falling asleep. Yeah, everything went right. In fact, I think it looked like a design run right, and then a fake or a throw back to the other side of the field.
Van Pruijen's extra point up and good with 1:35 to go. 53-20. The Bisons now lead. We'll head back down to the SNU sideline with Kent Gerard.
The Crimson Storm throwing out something a little bit different there for the Bison defense. A little bit of a check and release on the swing from Ramirez. And my goodness, that was beautiful. Quick little jabs at the center, and the Storm are back in business. Score now 53-20. We'll see if we can score a couple more times, guys. Back to you.
Well, Landry, I am glad that I have been joined in the Eternal Optimist Club by Kent Gerard.
I know.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
1:35 to play, 53-20. The Bisons with the lead. Just a reminder, we will be back here at SNU Football Stadium in 3 weeks' time. It'll be a little while before we're back, but Southwestern the opponent. on September 23rd. And we'll look forward to having you back here on the SNU Athletics YouTube stream.
Yep.
2 road games upcoming for SNU in Russellville against Arkansas Tech, which finds themselves down 20-7 over in Shawnee halfway through the third quarter. And then up in Alva on September 16th. Northwestern trailing early fourth quarter to Monticello 42-24. It's gone final out in Weatherford 38-14. Ouachita Baptist with the win over the Bulldogs. Van Pruyen, high end over end kick. Going to come down to Will White. And he breaks free across the 25 before he's taken down by Hiram Flores. And number 36 for SNU, Smith Nave, redshirt freshman out of Bay Area Christian High School. So 1:27 to play in the ball game, 53-20. Harding with the lead.
Some fresh faces in for the SNU defense here. Close out the game. Some, I should say, not all.
Yeah, a couple new faces out there. Let's see if we can rattle through this. Mason Innan, the sophomore transfer from Gila River College. And Ross just going to take a knee out there. So see Michael Okuwobi, the redshirt freshman out of Frisco Liberty High School. So SNU going to start the season 0-1. Not what the Crimson Storm envisioned when the game kicked off back at 6 o'clock this evening. Definitely a lot to work on for the offense, just getting back in sync. But on the flip side, you just faced the best defense in the conference. You just got done.
The best rushing in potentially the nation. Yeah.
So Harding is such a unique team to play, not only in their offense, but also because of just how good they are defensively.
Right.
I mean, there are good defenses in the Great American Conference. Ouachita is one of them. East Central was really good last year. Henderson State will be really good defensively again this year as well. But few of them really compare to Harding across the board.
Yeah,
especially in that front seven.
In their size and physicality.
So that's a final here at SNU Football Stadium in Bethany. Harding 53, Southern Nazarene 20. Tough loss for the Crimson Storm to start the 2023 season. But as we said, Landry, there's still a lot here for the Crimson Storm. A lot to look forward to as they move ahead in the 2023 season. Some opportunities on the road the next 2 weeks at Tech and Northwestern. But today, the miscues ultimately were the killers today.
Yeah, I mean, I think 5 turnovers is what we're gonna go down with 6. It's just I think the thing I just can't get out of my mind is how uncharacteristic of this amount of turnovers is for this team. Again, I don't anticipate a game like this again. And if I'm Coach Hayda, you don't watch this film anyway because nobody, especially defensively, you're not going to see Harding again, right? But you burn the film for this one because you need to have a short memory about it, right? Like, this is not who they are. This is not who they want to be. And so sometimes it's best to leave that film in the trash can instead of pick it apart.
Running through we'll wait on that. Looks like we're a little short on the final numbers just yet, but some positives that you drew away from this, both as a whole and individually.
Yeah, I mean, you could see glimpses when the offense is in rhythm, they're really, really good. And when Gage Porter has time to be creative, it's really, really good. I was really impressed with 2 offensive players in particular, Tisdale thought had a great game, 2 big catches at the end of the game. And also Smith, the tight end, played well. Defensively, I thought, I know this score's 53-3, but your freshman defensive line looked pretty good. Overall, I mean, for being freshmen, I thought it looked really good. And then it goes without saying, but the tight end, remind me his name, Luke. No, or excuse me, the outside linebacker that made just about every tackle. Jake Wright, yes, thank you. Jake Wright was all over the place. I mean, he's making plays left and right. No pun intended. And just absolutely a ball hawk. And so you got to be pleased with that, right? Like you have players who are wanting to play even when the score is not what you want it to be. That's what you look for as a coach. Players will do that. So, Luke, what about you? Anything that stuck out? Anything that you can chew on the next couple of weeks?
I think I'm still just a little bit, flummoxed, surprised, shocked. Shocked might be a strong word, but definitely extremely surprised just how out of sync things looked at times. And, definitely credit Harding. They have a really good defense. They have really good players, experienced players, big players, especially along that defensive line, that cause things to be out of sync. But just little things to still work through. I think, you're working in a new center, Zach Cizik. One of the first time he's been at center in his SNU career. Certainly there's going to be growing pains with that as far as timing goes, with motion and things like that. Things like that just seemed a half second off. And when the motion affects everything with your offense, that half second matters.
Yeah.
It absolutely matters. Gage wasn't comfortable at all tonight. And
no.
Harding was the big reason why. I don't think the SNU offensive line did anything particularly poorly. I think Harding brought a lot of pressure. Their defensive line commands the attention of the offensive line completely, whereas those linebackers, Caden Pierce, Clark Griffin, Zach Strickland, they had a lot of free runs. They had a lot of free shots, and Gage had to scramble a lot to get away from those linebackers all night long. So credit to Harding. They did a great job making him uncomfortable. But overall, you can't look past the turnovers in this game. The short fields for Harding. You look at at the final production in this game, basically dead even. 58 plays, 325 yards for Harding. 57 plays, 322 yards for SNU. And a lot of that was just short fields. Harding had a 6-yard touchdown drive. They had a 16-yard touchdown drive. 8-yard field goal drive. When you give up 3 scoring drives that are less than 20 yards, it's gonna skew things.
Yeah,
sure.
with a team as good as Harding, you want to make them work for every single yard, and I think coaching staff and the players are certainly gonna think about those things. Maybe they do score similar score, but it's different when you make them work for it than when you give them a 6-yard touchdown. So
indeed. Couple final numbers. Gage Porter, 6 of 16, 3 interceptions, 116 yards through the air. Had 102 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Andrew Tisdale, 2 catches, 74 yards. Angel Ramirez, 4 carries, 29 yards. Also caught a 6-yard touchdown pass tonight. Individually for Harding, Braden Jay, 63 yards on the ground. Blake Dela Cruz, 51 yards, 4 touchdowns for him. Cole Keelan, 40 yards and a touchdown. 3 carries, 31 yards for Chauncey Martin. Braden Jay also had a 26-yard touchdown reception in the first half as well. So that's going to do it for us here in Bethany tonight. Again, we will be back 3 weeks' time for the next SNU home game against Southwestern Oklahoma State. The Bulldogs coming to town next 2 weeks for SNU on the road at Arkansas Tech and Northwestern on the 9th and 16th, respectively. Just another quick check on scores. Southern Arkansas takes care of business against Southeastern 34-19. Halfway through the fourth quarter, up in Alva, Monticello now leads Northwestern 49-24. Oklahoma Baptist 20-7 over Arkansas Tech right now with 7 minutes to go third quarter. And 5 minutes to go third quarter over in Arkadelphia. 27-13, Henderson State leading East Central. So that's going to do it for all of us at SNU Athletics. Again, the final score tonight, 53-20. The Bisons take the season opener from the Crimson Storm. For Landry Franks, Grant McNew, and all of us here at SNU Athletics, I'm Luke McConnell saying good night from Bethany.